We're gonna do this again. Comrades, today is December 15, 2025, and the current time is 8:21 p.m. Now in testing a brand new video feed select format for the short-form video content addled mind. The Institute will be presenting select streams in both vertical and horizontal formats. Please be sure to leave your feedback to determine if this endeavor is even worth it. That concludes today's announcements.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Okay, hold on. This is a bit of a disaster. Give me a second to figure out what in God's name I'm doing. Okay, so I don't know how I ended up below the game, but I should be above the game. I don't know if you guys still need this chat box, but I guess I'll just shove it like kind of up here. I think maybe just the first two lines is probably okay. Please tell me you can hear me. I'm not actually muted, and I'm not talking into the void, right? Please tell me, like, you can actually hear me? God. Everything about this is a disaster. You know what else is an extra disaster? So, YouTube also now has the feature to allow vertical streaming, okay? Which is really funny. So if you go on YouTube on your phone and you watch the stream, you'll see it there. But I cannot push the customized feed I have for vertical Twitch onto YouTube at all. So on the YouTube end, you just literally get the center of my game screen. You don't get anything else. It's so funny. But at least on Twitch, you get the whole shebang. So as well as I could have possibly formatted it in given the very little amount of time that I had to figure this out. This entire thing I said is kind of a disaster that I'm just trying to figure out. So, okay. So before we begin, I'm just going to let the game run in the background while we do shenanigans. But let me at least give some context as to why whatever we're doing is what we're doing. Okay, so a while ago, Twitch announced that they were going to offer a vertical streaming option if you wanted to do it. And I was like, okay, sure, that seems fine. Like, I know there's a lot of, I know a lot of people here will typically watch content in a horizontal format because most people are watching on their phones or on their on their PCs, or I think we have one or two people that occasionally watch me on their TV for some reason. Which I appreciate that you put me on the big screen, but it's also like, what, why? But there is a growing portion of people, not just like you guys, but like in just general populace that enjoy watching content in a vertical format. So I figured, I mean, it's not the worst thing to just add it as an option. So I was like, okay, this is probably fine. Also, I'm going to make myself bigger on the vertical screen. I think I should be bigger. I have an idea. Let's adjust this a little bit. Let's make the game... Let's make this... Oh, it's not even centered. That's so funny. So I want to know something really funny. The game on the vertical screen is actually not even centered horizontally. There we go. Let's do that, and let's maybe just make it big. Yeah, let's do like this, and then center that horizontally, and then I'm gonna make myself bigger. Yeah, let's go. The thing is, I don't want to eat up like the whole game screen. Like, you need to still be able to see the game. Maybe I just shove myself in a corner like this. Maybe that's fine. And then I'll move the tits thing. That's weird. It's not showing up on the other one. That's new. Okay, that's weird. Ah, maybe that's not hooked up correctly. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. So, anyways, I know there's a lot of people that do want to watch vertically nowadays, but I figured I'll at least give the option to people that want to try it out. If you like it, let me know. If you hate it, also let me know. Because this thing is incredibly computationally, like, it is pushing my GPU really hard, and I don't know why. Now, that said, Rimworld is not exactly what I would call a graphically intense game, so I figured this is a perfectly fine game to test this on. If I was playing anything else, then I think we would actually have issues. For context, like, for whatever reason, I am pushing, like, nearly 20 megabits per second in data. Now, if you're watching on mobile, you can still just press the button that says switch to classic view. Like, have this being an option does not, you know, it's just an option for you, right? You don't have to Hold on. Actually, one thing I think I want to do for the Rimworld streams, I want to actually hide the pawn bar. I think that'll probably be a little better if I do it like this. Like, yeah, you have the option to use whichever one you want, but I figured I might as well test this. And to answer your question, no, they did not pay me, but I wanted to get into beta, and I was like, all right, I will give this a shot, because again, I think there's nothing wrong with trying to, you know, push into newer video formats. And it's like, because like I said, I know a lot of us like watching the normal way, and I do too. I do not really enjoy watching vertical streams at all. Like, it's not my type of thing. But there is, again, a growing segment of the population that does enjoy this type of video content. So that's why we're just giving it a shot. If we don't like it, let me know, but you can always switch to classic mode. And I can't really do this for every stream, just due to the fact that this is legitimately pushing my GPU to a fairly strong extent. And I basically cannot do this, I think, for most games except Rimworld at the current time, unless it's something like, I don't know, OpenTTD, or what's the other game that I normally play, like, or like RCT, like something like older would be fine. But if I were to play something like City Skylines, this game would be impossible. The people on YouTube are freaks. I mean, you're not incorrect. People on YouTube are freaks. Like, that's true. But anyways, I hope that you will at least accept that we'll be trying out this small endeavor, and hopefully it'll pan out fine, and we'll see where it goes, right? Like I said, it's not terribly difficult for me to set up. There's a couple things that will not show up on the vertical streams right now because I haven't fully set it up yet. I think one of the biggest ones is sound alerts should show up, like the little thing like Diddy when people like raid or sub and you have like the little thing. I think I got, actually, hold on, let me put that in. That's actually 5 seconds to set up, so that's fine. But there might be a few other things that may not set up quickly. The biggest thing, for example, is if I'm sharing something on screen, it's very, very likely that it'll only show up on the horizontal one rather than the vertical stream, because I basically have to do twice as much effort to put something on the screen, and that's kind of the biggest issue. It's, again, not perfect. But we're just testing it out. And realistically, I don't think we're gonna attract a group of TikTok-addled, brain-rotting, so-called humanoids. I think most of us are generally more mature than that, and we prefer to have, like, more serious form content. As serious as you can be watching the stream, which is also kind of like a whack job nonsense shenanigans fiesta. Anyways, how are all of you doing? I forgot to say that. Hello, Xanth. Congrats on being first. You beat Ray. Also, hello, Sun, and Funbound, and Ray, obviously, and Kefir, and, who else? And Grievel, I know Rod who said things, also Psycho, and Infidave, and yes, I'm yawning, and Goldenrod. And I think that's everyone, and I think that's everyone who says anything. Anyways, how are all of you doing? Hopefully you're all having a good evening. Like I said, it's a little we're just testing this out. It'll be fine. And if you hate it, let me know. Would you rather me be on the other side of the screen? Would you rather me be on the right or on the left? For vertical. And then, because I've always been on the right side for most of these streams, because you ban them for being weird zoomers. Like, if someone starts saying like 6'7", then I think that's cause for, like, unless they're a name that's normally here. I think if they start saying 6'7" with zero context, I'll be like, someone please just castrate this individual. And I think everyone would be perfectly understanding of why I would say such a thing, right? I think we would all agree why that's a thing. I've always been of the opinion that, like, if you think something is whack or weird, feel free to just go with your gut. We generally don't get that many weirdos, but we do get some weirdos, and it is a little silly. Although, usually it's just bots. Most of the time someone's weird, they'll exist for like a day, and then they just never come back again. That's usually what happens nowabouts for strange fellows who show up to the stream, right? And that's just how it is. What else? You're not weird? Listen, we're all weird, but there's like a sliding scale of weirdness, right? It's kind of like that furry scale where there's like the normal and then mostly okay, fine, whatever, but then you start getting into like the really weird stuff, in which case, all right, maybe we should dial it back just a couple notches. You know what I mean? So That's kind of what I'm thinking. So hopefully, again, this will be a fine test. I probably will not be doing these vertical streams on YouTube. I think I'm looking at it and it just looks really bad, so we're just gonna not do it on YouTube ever. People will be on VTubers because people think that it's okay to interact with a anime character on the internet in that way. It is very strange. Like recently, I think Iron Mouse was like on like at some convention or something, and she was being carried around on a tablet by Dog VA, and people kept coming up to her and asking her, like, someone had gone up to her last, like, what are you? It's like, oh, she's Latina. And she's like, oh, what do you look like? And people were just like, dude, you don't just ask that to a VTuber. You just have to leave it alone. You know, just VTubers, XQC has opinions, and while he's allowed to have opinions, I'm allowed to also say that his opinions are hot dog water, and he should probably not be allowed to have opinions, is my opinion. Cat ears versus full-on fursuit scale, understandable for modern audience. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of describing it. It's basically like, you know, normal human, you add the cat ears, and then you slowly start going into like full anthropomorphic, and then you end up with the furry, and then you end up with like just a straight animal. You got clowned on since he caved to what? To being a VTuber, like because he was hating on VTubers, and all the VTubers decided to jump on him for saying some of the most brain-dead takes I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, I would understand why he's getting clowned on. Like, dude, let people enjoy themselves. Like, why does he have to have a negative opinion in a way that's just so rude? You know what I mean? I think the thing is, there's multiple ways you can frame this discussion. And I know one of the biggest ones is that, oh, VTubers don't have to put in as much effort to get ready as a flesh streamer. You know, they don't have to put on makeup or get dressed. They can just, you know, and they can be ugly in real life, as I know a common argument. But then you should look at how many people are actually VTubers, and a lot of them are conventionally not ugly, is I think what most people would say, right? Now, obviously, it's all subjective. But at the same time, it's like, people want to be a VTuber because they want to be able to portray themselves in a way that they wouldn't be able to portray themselves in real life, regardless. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, some face-time streamers have definitely felt, you know, threatened by it as well. Especially because when you look at the most popular streamers, you know, in the world right now, especially, like, they're basically just, a lot of them are just VTubers, right? The most popular streamers are generally VTubers. Like, didn't Pecora basically dominate the charts for basically 3 years running now or something like that? Hot dog water, the guiltiest of all pleasures, you know, the professor tastes from nature. I have tasted hot dog water before. Listen, it's not really the water that gets you, it's the more the oil from the hot dog and the sodium saline solution that they inject into those little sausages that really get you. That's why you shouldn't really drink the hot dog water. Not because it's just bad for you, but it's because it's really, actually it is because it's bad for you, because that thing is just straight sodium. But if you ever see a hot dog cart, though, that thing is just a pot of hot dog water that's just been stewing there for forever. It is kind of nasty, depending on how you want to interpret it. Also, we do need to get rid of these excess clothes. Who is our crafters? Ray is our primary crafter. We're gonna order Ray to just start demolishing a lot of these garbage things. Also, we're gonna just restrict this to about 30 yards, so it's not too far. Okay. Not a big sample size. Yeah, Ray knows how a bunch of VTubers look. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe Ray knows what I look like. That's crazy. You ever wonder if, like, there's VTubers out there who've gotten married to another VTuber without ever having seen each other in real life? Like some kind of weird digital-only marriage things, kind of like what those people sometimes do in Japan where they marry a digital character for some reason. There's gotta be someone who's done that before, right? I feel like that's gotta have been a real thing. So, anyways, VTubers are just, VTubers are always an interesting concept. Oh, speaking of light novel titles, you just reminded me, like, there was a manga that I was reading. I think it ended after, like, 5 chapters. But the idea was that there's a kid, he's a very normal child. But his parents, both of them, are actually VTubers. for some reason, and he hates it because he gets embarrassed by them, and they're trying to always drag him into their shenanigans and make him become a VTuber. I think the way it worked was his mom was kind of like some ikemen, like the female character that's very boyish looking, kind of like the princely type. And then there was the dad was like a very popular female VTuber who's like some ugu kawaii princess, and he's like a bulky muscle builder. And I was like, oh, I can relate to that in a way, not the bulky muscle builder part, but being an anime girl on the internet. But that's a whole different thing. Wouldn't be surprised if some people gotten together without knowing they were both streamers at some point. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, that is definitely a thing. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what it was called, but it was probably something along the title, along those lines. Like I said, I already saw it and I was like, this is funny. And then it ended and I was like, that's sad. I wanted to see more of it, but not all things get to survive. And why are we dismantling? Okay, that's bad armor, right? So Ray's gonna destroy all this garbage. Bunch of vagabonds, bunch of silver. Well, you know what? They're poor. All right. How many spare beds do I have? 1, 2. We have 2 spare beds. Okay, so worst comes to, oh, we have 3. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, again, if you're watching on Vertical, please, for the love of God, tell me what your opinion is on the at least on the Twitch one. Don't give me opinions on the YouTube one, because the YouTube one is really bad. But I do want to know what your thoughts are on this new vertical streaming concept. Because, like I said, a lot of people do watch vertically nowadays, which I know isn't exactly everyone's cup of tea. In fact, I think most of you would hate this type of thing. But the reality of it is that we, the horizontal viewers who watch things on a TV or on a computer monitor or on our phone sideways, are starting to go away. The major trend is now vertical content, which is all brain rot, gross nonsense that's riddled with AI voiceovers. Oh my gosh, I hate I do watch some YouTube shorts, but they're usually like infrastructure ones. I kid you not, I think one of my favorite genres of YouTube short is, here's a person who's talking about this intersection, why it sucks and how he would fix it, and his fix is just, why don't we just add a roundabout? It's so funny, like he does it every single time, and I'm like, this is so good, this is so peak, I love it. I wonder if I can find it, because whenever I see it, I'm just like, this is good content. Like, I love this type of nonsense. But stuff like that. You read a manga about a guy that's like crossing as a leader and a woman who crosses a punk goth guy and their co-workers in an office. Oh, I know. I think I've seen the one you're talking about, son. I've definitely read that one before. How about this mattress inflation? Getting out of hand. No darn airbeds using electric pumps now. What do you mean? You have to just use a manual hand pump now, right? Just, you know what you do is if there's a nearby kid, you just tell the kid to do it. And just offer them like, hey, just do this for me, it's a favor or something, or like just tell them it's a fun thing that's gonna build their bed. You know, you can make any kind of excuse and a kid's gonna listen to it. The roundabout, I had to find the specific video, but there is a plethora of this genre, and if I can find it, let's see here. Let's see if I can find the one of the prime examples. But there again, there's an entire genre. Oh, okay. See, opening Firefox has already like made my game lose frames, and that's not a good sign. Let's see if I can find it. Intersection correction. Maybe using the word correction is probably not correct. Oh, okay. It's like, hold on. Let's see if I can put this on the screen real fast so you can understand what I'm talking about. So this is there. Oh my gosh, I have to do this on the other one too? Oh, this is gonna be annoying. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is obnoxious. Let's put this in the bottom here. And then let's see if I can move it like that. Okay, so at least this can kind of work. And then I put it on the regular one. Okay, so it's a video like this, right? Where he will go over like, oh, look at this intersection. And it's got like 6 different cars coming in. Because honestly, look at this intersection. This thing is hot garbage. Who designed this? All right. All right, so hold on. Just looking at this intersection, like take a look at this real quick. It's a single road. You have one road here, another road here, another road here, another road here, and another one here. Like for some reason, I guess whoever designed this just really didn't want to build one big intersection, so they made it like 4 smaller intersections. And so this guy's entire YouTube shtick is that he just takes these intersections and just says, but what if we made it not so ugly? And a lot of times his solution is, what if we just add roundabouts? Okay, hold on. Like here's him, like here's the intersection, right? And he's gonna draw over like what it should look like in his mind, what an ideal intersection looks like without, you know, running into other local businesses that are already there and ruining them. But look at this, like, what if we just add, what if we had a 2-lane roundabout? And it's like, I get it, but you would be surprised at how many people don't know how to drive through a roundabout. It happens far more frequently. I don't know if this is the guy that made Disney Street World car friendly, but I do know exactly what video you're talking to. No, it's not this guy. This guy only does YouTube shorts, and it's basically just roundabouts. I like roundabouts, but let's be real. There's a very strong amount of the American driving population that have zero reason to be attempting to drive on a roundabout because they just don't know how to drive on a roundabout. Okay, I really wish the YouTube Shorts version would let me have my model on screen, but it doesn't. So now if you're watching that live stream, you're just watching me. You're just watching a game screen while I talk sometimes in the background. Yeah, that's not very good, is it? Truck's too big? It works in like some areas, like where if you don't have like a lot of trucks, like if it's just primarily local traffic, it's probably fine. But again, yeah, large truck traffic is very much a no-go. So I do get what you're saying. Also, I need to check something. I'm getting pinged on Discord real quick. Oh, okay, got it. So yeah, I think it's kind of funny. Anyways, how long have you been? I know Zongo said that you're managing to get through your Monday, and I think most people are just kind of done with their Monday. It's almost the holidays. By the way, this is the last full week of streams, because I will be disappearing for essentially a week and a half starting next week. I will stream Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm gone. Because the 24th is Christmas Eve, 25 is Christmas, 26 I'm driving, and then I will return on the 1st, which is a Friday, so I'm already not streaming anyways. Or I think that's a Thursday, so I'm not streaming anyways. And then I will return to streaming whatever that Monday after. I think it's the 5th. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, I'll be back on the 5th. So basically, I'm gone from the 24th through the 5th. You're just, like, there's no me. I know you'll all be really sad that there's no Professor stream for essentially almost 2 weeks, but I know you'll find a way to entertain yourself by watching other VTubers do weird shouty shenanigans, and you'll miss the quiet, calm contemplation of life with me, your favorite, very normal, not insane, not cat girl Professor, right? Having driven all lower 48, you can roundabouts are the only traffic control device where the navigation is universally agreed on some sites to complete stop before proceeding. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be just like you just yield, unless you have like a light at a roundabout, which I've seen before. I've seen like one place where there's like a light at a roundabout, and I'm like, you could have just made this a normal intersection. I don't know what cheap cab sav is, but that sounds like some kind of food that I'm not aware of. What is hard is really hard. Oh, E33. At some point I need to play that game because I know Kinwar bought some bits for me so I can go buy the thing, but I never got around to doing that yet, and I've just been a little too busy to do so. So we'll see what we're gonna do. Did I see Silksong? I did see that Silksong is getting DLC. Didn't the game just come out like 3 months ago? And they already announced new DLC, and it's free? Free DLC for everyone? Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Silksong devs really just love giving their player base just something to chew on, something free. They're just like, yeah, you know what? You guys deserve free content. It's kind of like how, what's his name? Sean Murray just keeps adding new free content to No Man's Sky every, like, once a year. And everyone's like, no, Scott. Or no, Sean, we can give you money, please. And he's like, no, free DLC. And I'm just like, this man, he's dedicated to just giving people the stuff that they want. Also, I need to find a way to make sure everyone's mental state is good, because everyone is starting to slowly go crazy. We do need a temple room at some point, so I gotta build that somewhere. I think I'll just build it down here. And actually, Oh, we can just turn this into... Let's see that. I'm a mental state. I am being insulted here. Why am I being called a mental state? Why? Why this? Hello, Alana. How are you? Are we gonna see random Alana fans showing up? Which happened the other day. I still think that was really funny that it was just like some random person came in here. It's like, wait, I recognize this name. It was a thing. It happened. Yeah, I remember it. Hello, Ranu. How's Minecraft? Because I know you're on Minecraft. Oh yeah, I think because they recognize your mods. Or the Thrombuti. Take your pick. Also, I forgot to mention this. I was going to... I didn't post this on like social media because I got kind of busy, but I forgot I commissioned someone on VGen like a few months ago for like some like Skeb-like commission, and it was like 25 USD or something like that. I think it was 30 USD. I was like, that's really cheap. I'll just commission them. And I was like, wow, they actually got back to me with it. And I was like, it was really cute. Let me pull it up on screen real fast, because I haven't posted it anywhere else yet because I've been a little lazy. But it's like I haven't even sorted it, so it's just in my downloads folder. Let's see. It's called image 1. Oh yeah, there it is. Wow, that is really big. Is there a way to make that fit on the screen better? Maybe shrink that in. Yeah, there, look at that. There we go. New art commission, because it was the person was doing some really cheap commissions. I was like, all right, sure, why not? So I'm glad that they got the gradient in. Always got to get the hair gradient in. Yeah, this person draws a lot of fallen shadow, if you know who they are. So I was like, huh. Don't worry, Ray, we'll get our commission soon too. We're just gonna have to wait a little bit after the New Year's when Eki's free. Let's wait until Eki's free. This one was commissioned a while ago. I just kind of told him do whatever you want. Yeah. Excuses? No, it's true. We're just gotta wait for Eki to be free. Because Eki's gonna draw something great. I just know he is. Also, I don't know what it is, but Twitter has not been like notifying me whenever someone sends me a DM, and it's been driving me slowly crazy because I was in communication with someone, like an audio mixer, and I was just like, oh, they never got back to me. But then I finally clicked the messages button and I saw that they had replied to me like a week ago, and I was like, oh lordy, this is ridiculous. So I don't know. It's very annoying because I'm like trying to reach out to this person so I can get something done, and they're just like, and Twitter's like, no. You know what's funny? I saw that there was a person. Yes, here you go. Don't worry, Ray, we'll get something, I promise. But I saw recently that there's a company out there who's trying to buy the Twitter trademark because they're saying that Elon Musk has abandoned it. And so we, the Bluebird Project, Project Bluebird, will be attempting to reclaim this abandoned trademark and rebuilding Twitter, which I'm like, that's not going to do anything, but, you know, because unfortunately you can buy the trademark, but all the people are already on current Twitter and they're unlikely to move to new Twitter. Remember when people tried to move to Blue Sky and how that panned out? Yeah, remember that? That's a platform that existed for a little bit, and then everyone just stopped paying attention to Blue Sky for the most part, except for the people who are like really anti-Twitter, which is also understandable. The thing is with social media, you really need like a critical mass of people on the platform, or else people are just not going to want to be on that platform. And I think the big issue with like a lot of artists, I think, tried to move to Blue Sky when it was when it was like blowing up. But I think part of the issue was Blue Sky was really strict on the type of content that they would allow on the platform. And so they just decided to ban a lot of those artists, and a lot of those artists some of them were also kind of like Japanese artists, and if they didn't want to use, you know, Blue Sky, then they're not going to be on Blue Sky, so they ended up going on Miskey, and And I don't think Miski's that popular either. And I think some people I think they try to make like their own other social media whatever. But basically, Twitter is a disaster, Blue Sky's a disaster, everything's a disaster, and the only solution is stop using social media and just return to Monkey. Yeah, we should also, let's just all go back to Tumblr, back in the Tumblr days. You know what, I actually remember using Tumblr a decent amount, but I was more in the sphere of Magic the Gathering rather than anything else, because that's what I liked. But I liked Magic the Gathering, and so I got into like the whole custom Magic the Gathering community type thing until I wasn't part of it anymore, because for what reason or another, I just stopped caring, and I stopped making custom Magic the Gathering cards. But yes, Tumblr died too. Didn't Yahoo buy Tumblr for like $1 billion something and they had to sell it for like $20 million? Because the thing is, here's the thing with social media platforms. You need to, like, not only do you need like a critical mass of users, you need to find a way to make money off of them. And a lot of times it's just selling your advertising data and selling advertising slots to the eyeballs of the people who are using these social media platforms. But the problem is, a lot of the advertisers don't want their content next to, you know, not safe for work material, and so they had to ban not safe for work material off of websites like Tumblr. And then all the users started leaving because unfortunately a lot of them, turns out, were just in it for the naughty content. And then they died. Well, I mean, Tumblr's still trucking along, but it's not nearly as large as it was previously. So I'm pretty sure none of them are making money. They're just kind of floating by with people injecting fresh cash into it constantly. Something investment rounds and whatnot. Like, I don't know how maybe Facebook makes money just because its advertising business is so gigantic that maybe that's fine. But even then, I have my doubts. I have strong doubts of whether or not that's the case. So we'll have to see. Also, I feel kind of bad because, like, I just realized if you watch the YouTube vertical stream, it's just nothing. Like, sometimes the game is just a standing... It's just a game screen. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely turning off dual stream on YouTube. No, Tumblr's remaining existence isn't the reason why RAM prices are that high. It's because people are making chat GPT powered calculators instead of using a normal calculator, which was a thing that I saw, but then I realized it was actually just bait. Someone made like a chat GPT calculator, and I was like, this has to be fake, right? Like, this has to be bait. And I think it was it's like an actual calculator program that just happens to be written by ChatGPT and has a built-in delay so that it looks like it's ChatGPT thinking. And I'm like, that's definitely intelligent. That's really good bait, because I fell for it. I was like, this can't be real, right? ChatGPT is gonna be the end of us. Like, it's not just like computer parts too, but it's just the RAM. I know SSD, like Samsung basically said they're getting out of the SATA SSD business, and well, the problem is that all of my SSDs are Samsung SATA SSDs. Well, all my SATA SSDs are Samsung. And then on top of that, the RAM prices I believe are going to make the next generation of consoles really expensive. I believe Nintendo already announced or said somewhere that they're expected to see like a 40% increase in their hardware costs, which is insane. And I think a lot of it is just strictly born of, well, RAM. So you're using SATA SSDs. For me, it's because it's a lot easier for you to plug in a SATA SSD than an M.2 drive. I have one M.2 slot remaining, and I think if I use it, I have to unplug one of these SATA slots because I think they use the same channel for some godforsaken reason on my motherboard. And I actually do need to get a new M.2 drive. So I actually got into M.2s when they were really pricey, and I think like I had like a 256 gigabyte Samsung NVMe that was like almost $100. I think a little over, maybe a little over that at the time. And nowadays, like, they're so cheap. Like an M.2 drive you can get for like you can get a 4 terabyte one for like $400 or $500 now. So that's about like what, $100 per terabyte, which is a really good deal. And I've been thinking about putting that in now or something like that. Isn't that how much they are now, or am I imagining prices? I could have sworn. Let me look at Micro Center. They're Well, did you get them on sale? It sounds like you might have gotten them on sale. I actually do plan on going to Micro Center in the near future because I do need additional storage. I was actually planning on buying a SATA SSD. Okay, let's see here. Okay, well, a Samsung 990 Pro 4TB is $420 based on what I'm looking at right now. Hello, Prophet9. How are you doing, comrade? It's been some time. Hopefully you've been doing well. You need SSD. Ray, tell me how many M.2 slots you have open and I will go buy an extra one if I go to Micro Center. But yeah, I do need to find like something because if you do not want to see. Actually, hold on. Do you want to see how bad my CPU, my computer space is, real quick? How do I hide these? Let's just say it's really bad, and I have probably guesstimating about 100 gigabytes free of SSD space and maybe about 400 gigabytes of platter drive space, and that's out of a total capacity of what is it? I think it was 8 and 5, so 13 terabytes of platter space and about what is that? About 3.25 terabytes of SSD space. You know what's really funny? My OS is not actually on my NVMe drive. You're not gonna believe this. So when I bought that NVMe drive, it was a 250 gigabytes, approximately 256 gigabytes approximately. And the only reason I wanted it is because I wanted it strictly for Final Fantasy XIV. Like, the drive's only purpose is to run Final Fantasy XIV and whatever miscellaneous Steam games that I can fit on there that I need extra space for, like Frostpunk 2, I think. And I think Rimworld's also on it too. I'm doing pretty good, Prophet. Hopefully you've been doing well. I know, you know, Rimworld's not everyone's cup of tea, but hopefully you at least enjoy watching a little bit of rimming as we do around these parts with our very small colony. By the way, we are now fighting another raid. Well, okay. Well, if you find out how much space you have, let me know, and I will go buy a spare SSD for you, because I know you need one. If I need one, you probably need one too. Actually, for me, the other reason why I kind of want another SATA SSD is because for video editing, it's a lot faster to edit by dumping all the video files I need onto the SATA drive or onto the SSD, which is cheaper and then just working through that rather than working on a platter drive with all the read writes that come with that. Because I've been running actually into that issue when trying to edit something, and it's like, oh, I definitely need something a little better than whatever I'm currently using. 100 terabytes is going great for individual drives like USB stick types. Well, I don't think I use. I mean, I have thumb drives, but you don't ever want to use a thumb drive, unlike me. No, my PC is basically a disaster. My downloads folder is basically the catch-all void for files that I download. I think I'm going to use later, but I never actually move it to a proper folder. So then it gets lost until I think, oh, I need something. I know it's in the downloads folder somewhere. Then I sort by date downloaded and try to find the damn file. And then I eventually find it. And so my downloads folder, I'm pretty sure is like 200 gigabytes big. Yeah, it's, there's a lot on there. Because, you know, you download enough installers over time and they just kind of sit there forever. I think before I had to do the great big PC refresh when one of my drives failed, I think at that point my PC had some ridiculous amount of, like, what was it? Hold on, we gotta fight this off. Come on, Garm, time to get on that. Hold on, get on the arbalist. You gotta kill people. They're coming. We gotta go kill people. But yeah, my downloads folder is a bit of an unmitigated disaster. Fully my fault. Oh, look at that. Garm hit pretty well. That Raven fellow has a bolt sticking through his chest. Oh. Alright, let's get these guys over here. Protect. Rain. Yeah, we gotta pull these guys back. Oh no! They're coming for the kids! Alright, and then we're gonna have Arani intercept that one, and then Infidave, you have a flail, no shield. And then, oh, they're going for the youngins. Okay. Pull you back. Pull you back. Let those guys do their thing. Arani's fighting. Let's have you intercept that one. Alright, perfect. Ray is getting clobbered as her arm has a stab now. Stab wound. Alright, we're gonna pull back a little bit. Let's just funnel them into this death pit right here. And as they approach, we'll just, I don't know, gun them down or something. They'll die eventually. Ooh, Arani's got a pretty bad run. Ooh, Arani no longer has a thumb. Alright, let's keep fighting them off. Let's get Infidave out of here. And then Arani will intercept here. See if we can kill these guys. Oh my gosh. Alright, they gave up. Excellent. Let's drop them. Okay, there we go. Let's undraft everyone. Confounded by how a person who maths for a living, but somehow more organized than I am. Listen, there's a big difference between being really good at who has a job that does math for a living on spreadsheets that are and my spreadsheets are actually nice and organized. But my own personal life doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be organized either. That's essentially how it'd be. Ray makes fun of me a lot for it, for being disorganized all the time, but I know where every single item is, which is also very amusing. For example, I know where my ring is at all times, because it has a specific spot on my desk that I keep it there forever. Unless it's on my finger, in which case it's a different story. I do probably need to start removing things off my desk, though, because there's a lot of just random things in here that I probably don't need on here anymore. My desk is basically probably 20% Magic the Gathering card piles that I haven't sorted through in a long time. It's just kind of there. Also, we got to make sure people aren't dying, because I forgot about tending to injuries. You got 7 hours, you got 16. Okay, who's the other doctor? Let's get you out of here. You're dying too, so let's get everyone tended. We want to capture Grasshopper. Are we missing a lung on anyone? You're fine. You don't have an eye. Can I transplant eyes? Oh my gosh. Oh, it doesn't have a leg either. I think I can transplant eyes, right? Alright, let's just capture this one. That should be fine. Well, I'm sure this will be okay. Capture that one, and then let's go over there, and then let's make sure we're all tended to. So it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. And then we're gonna go over here and then quickly rip this man's eye out. Harvest his eye. Let's do both eyes. Let him be blind. He need not see anymore when death comes for him soon. I know where I am at all times because I know where I am not. I do know where I am not, and I am currently not in Canada right now, although I will be soon, and I'm very excited to go to Canada. I think it'll be a great, grand old time. But your downloads folder exists to be cleaned out down the line because you literally just give yourself basic zip files and installers. Oh, well, you don't understand. My stuff is just a disaster. Ray's having a mental breakdown before she could go tend to removing that guy's eye, so he might die. I need Garm to sit here in a bed. Are they all tended to? Yes, yes, no. Who's the other doctor? Is the opposer? Wakey, wakey. It's time to tendy. Okay, so good. So they'll be okay. And then let's quickly get this man's eye out of his head, literally. Okay, so he's not gonna die. And then I guess we'll let him heal up a little bit before we go rip his eye out. And then Garm, make sure you don't die either. Prefer if everyone lives to see another day. See, I don't do that. I download things in the download folder and I tell myself I'll organize it later. And then later never comes. It's a little ridiculous. I keep telling myself I'll sort it out. Maybe what I should do is just do a purge. Just do a mass delete. Hello, Kahila. How are you doing? Are you watching on mobile? If so, you may want to get out of the vertical stream, because the vertical stream is really bad. Guess who is wanting to die? Stressed because finals. Is it you? Are you going to be okay? Yeah, we're definitely not going to do this vertical stream anymore. This vertical stream is hot garbage. It's so bad. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Like I said, we're trying something a little different with this whole vertical streaming thing. I think YouTube does say that, like, hey, we'll be allowing people to push a custom feed into it, but right now it's just kind of a test. So we'll see how it pans out, because if I can just upstream both vertical, like the proper vertical and proper horizontal, that'd be great. But yeah, my downloads folder is a disaster, and I generally don't care enough to fix it. I'm like, it's fine. Also, God, do we even have food? Oh, we do have food. Okay, so we should probably start hunting down more dinosaurs. I think I've reached the point where it's just easier to just harvest crops. Look at all those potatoes. If we just have enough people harvesting potatoes at all times, we should be fine. Okay. So here's the throne room, which is Ray's. It's apparently mediocre, so it's not good enough. I think part of the issue is that everyone just, yeah, intense pain, and we don't have the recreation, unsightly environment. It's ugly for people. Yeah. Alright, we may need to start working on end tables and statues. Thankfully, we have a lot of wood, so let's just start adding... Is there, like, any nicer looking end table? No? Okay, I guess that's all we're gonna get. Sure. Get a generic looking end table. Oh, that can't get an end table. That's funny. It's from the web you'll send downloads, then organize. If you're saving from a program, it goes straight into the file you intend. Oh, okay. So, like, the way I always do it is, like, I'll download a file, and then I'll think, where does it need to go? And then completely ignore that. Right? So, let's say I need to download a mod for a game, and it's a zip file. So I'll download the zip file, and then it'll end up in my downloads folder, and then I will extract it, and then I will then drag it out of the extracted folder into the correct folder. That is my general work process, which is not ideal. Also, I can change the style of these. Oh. Wait, that's kind of sick, actually. Hold on. I want to change all these to look authoritarian. Just very bland. Yeah, perfect. I think that just shows that these were all set up incorrectly, because these are probably backwards now. Which means I have to now sort it the correct way. There we go. Because the backside should always be against the wall. Perfect. Like that. Okay, so I apparently got all those incorrect. Yeah. Let's also do this one too. Okay. Also, regarding the schedule, I know I said this week we'll do Hoi 4 and Minecraft. Hoi 4, I think is going to be a maybe. The thing is, I like Hoi 4. I think a lot of people don't like Hoi 4, which is tragic, but I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea to watch. It's just kind of a boring map painter. I love my map painters. I've been playing a lot of CK3 recently. I was talking to Ray about CK3 recently because she doesn't play CK3, but she played CK2. And let's just say that if you're not very careful with your bloodlines, your family tree starts to turn into kind of like a family bush, is the best way I'm going to describe it. I'm playing a run in CK3 as Japan, and let's just say it's... I'll explain it, but let me read Kahil's messages real quick. You're about to explode. Anyways, you're watching Dario with your friend yesterday. For some reason, you went to shower your brain while you wrote fanfic about it. Can't wait till Sunday's gonna talk about Tadek. Oh, have you not seen TADC yet? I hope you avoid spoilers as best you can. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. I really loved the latest episode, and I can't believe there's only 2 more episodes of the Amazing Digital Circus. Oh, you see it? You saw it already. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so it's not an intentional divine marriage situation, but it's more just Japan in CK3 is obviously very culturally isolated. And so the people you're only able to marry are kind of just the same people that you're going to encounter all the time. And so when you end up marrying into the royal family, the emperor's family, early on, you know, at least you marry off one of your children to the emperor's family, then those children start propagating and making more children, and you keep making more children propagating, and then you need to find a way to, you need to find proper mates for your children. You end up, well, you kind of end up in a situation where I'm at, where there is a lot of, let's just say the genetic defects are starting to crop up a lot more frequently, surprisingly enough. I was like, wow, that one is a midget, that one has a hunched back, and that one is frail. And I was like, huh. Yeah. So it's been a little bit, it's it's been a little bit of a disaster in my run. Sweet Home Alabama. It's turning into a Sweet Home Alabama situation just a little bit. So what I ended up doing in my CK3 run is I had to just basically bum rush the legacy traits that say, hey, reduce the chance of getting negative congenital traits. So there's a less likely chance of having inbred traits like hunchback or albino and whatnot. Actually, it's really funny because one of my characters had like his son, like my main heir had to marry the emperor's daughter who was albino, and so his children are now albino, except, well, at least 2 out of 3 are albino, and only the children with that wife. But thankfully his heir's heir is not albino, so eventually the bloodline will correct itself and get rid of the albino trait. Although the albino trait's kind of sick, because I didn't realize it, but the albino trait just makes your characters like be very scary to everyone. So everyone's like, "Oh my god, this person is spooky. It's spooky. And we fear him because his skin is pale and his eyes are red." And it's like, ooh. Anyways, my CK3 run is a bit of a disaster. I would love to stream it, but I don't think people want to watch CK3, so I'm not going to show you. My CK3 run is very boring. One of the biggest issues with CK3, at least in Japan, is that I have to keep dealing with the stupid empire laws, so I can't actually declare war on my fellow vassals. Because I'm just not allowed to because of, like, the realm laws or something stupid like that. It sucks. Hello, Blue, how are you? It's me, the really cool streamer playing Rimworld. Oh, I did actually get that guy's eyes. You know what? You are free to go, buddy. Yeah, you're free to go. Who needed the eyeball? I think... Okay, so Skypion needs a new leg and a new eye. So why don't we install that eye, and then let's get you a... Do we have anything better for a leg, or is peg leg the only option we have? Okay, I guess peg leg is the only option we have, so I guess we'll give Skypion a peg leg. That should be fine. Replace the right one. Okay, right leg, peg leg. Perfect. Rice and culture expanded, and you found out a new CK3 run. Oh, I probably need to look into that. Yeah, CK3 Crusader Kings 3, the medieval version of the Paradox. Haha, funny map painters. Hello, Krusty. How are you? Wait, is there a 1 week no spoiler rule for TADC? I did not actually know that. But yeah, I can't wait for TADC episode 8. It's gonna be great. You played the first one? The first one came out in like 2006. Or maybe 2000. Just finished taking your first E-shot? Oh, congratulations. Is that a thing you have to take lifetime? I'm not actually sure how it works. Get needles with such another nothing burger afterwards. Okay, you know what I've learned? I hate needles in the sense that, like, I hate the feeling that it has on me, like the pinching feel. But I often have to get blood work done because of health-related reasons. So I often go to the doctor like maybe once every couple months to get some blood drawn, and they run some tests on it. Yeah, because my blood is super cool and powerful, and they said that I have the coolest blood around. But anyways, what I end up learning is that if I just browse Reddit on my phone and just read, I don't know, I like reading those drama subreddits sometimes, or like or video game subreddits, and it's like just read that, and then it just goes by real quick, and then I get a cool little wrapping around the injection site, and I feel super powerful. 3 months. Hey, you know, at least it's 3 months. I think 3 months per episode, I guess, is a fine cadence, but how much time is it going to be between episode 8 and 9? That's the real killer. That's going to be the real killer wait. Also, I just realized, Sun here is actually ready to... It's already growth level 5. He probably will age up soon, so we'll have to deal with that in a bit. So who's on a... Steve's on a near mental break. Why? Insulted. Missing stuff. Observing corpses. Oh, right, we gotta roll the corpses. Let's not do that. Let's just haul these out of here. Oh, I just realized the toolkit core is not working, and I think I should have noticed that when Marksman came in, typed in !BAL, and then it did nothing. There you go. The vote's there now if you want to vote. I think that works. Insurance won't cover it, of course, and either way, no subscribers here. You sort of got. I don't know where you live, but I didn't realize that's not a thing that insurance covers. I thought it was for some reason, but I guess it's just an expensive thing. Good luck. I don't really know how that stuff operates. Yeah. So, oh, maybe it depends on your health insurance plan. That's probably what it is. Interesting. Oh, I just realized we don't have a research quest. Let's see. I want to research something medievally. Let us learn how to make noble apparel. That should be fine. 3 letters DIY. I am generally not of the opinion that you should DIY any form of medicine, because I think that's a good way for bad things to happen. Use, approved medications. I think you'll just be a little better for you. You don't want to end up I don't think people want to be in a position where they end up using something like bootleg Ozempic or whatever it's called that people are really into. There are so many people that are like, just use Ozempic, the magic thing. But then I saw stories that if you take Ozempic, you're gonna go blind. I'm like, oh god. Oh, I don't want to touch this. Why, if you use Ozempic, if you need to use it, that's on you. Like, I'm not here to judge, but at the same time, it's like, could just, I don't know. Because Ozempic is supposed to make you, want to eat a lot less, right? Like, it's like a giant appetite suppressant, and then it, helps to just slow off the fat off of your body. Is that how you say that word? Slough? Slow? S-L-O-U-G-H? I don't know how it works. But I just know some people are like, Ozempic is the cure for everything. And I know people that are really, really into just, they really want to get it. Get Ozempic, because I know people that are very large, and I'm not talking like a healthy large. I'm talking like this person is probably going to die before their kids reach double-digit age large, and thankfully they didn't end up going on Ozempic. They ended up just diet and exercise, and it worked really well for them. But it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize everyone just wants to use the funny instant pill, because working out and dieting is hard work, whereas you could take a magic pill that does it for you, then it's just like, oh, see, I didn't have to put any effort in. Yeah. There is sometimes all the stuff for 1 year. Wait, $150 for the stuff that you need? That's a pretty cheap rate, I would say. Huh. Also, here we go. So Ray's trying to put I believe this is the eyeball. Or no, it's the peg leg. Okay. So I don't know how, but Ray has successfully failed to put a peg leg onto a person that's lying down, which is amusing. I don't know how Ray managed to fail putting up a peg leg, but she did. Okay, well, I guess if you're going unofficial, things are going to be always cheaper when you're doing it the more, not so proper channels. But listen, you do whatever you think you need to do for your own health, right? I'm not here to question or judge everyone's health choices. Everyone here is an adult, I think. Ozempic slows down your digestion to make it so the food passes more slowly through your system. Oh, is that how that works? Okay, so Ronnie failed to also put a peg leg into Skypion. Everyone's just failing to put a peg leg onto Skypion. At this point, I don't know why it's failing. We also gotta start pruning a lot of this garbage. Like, all these garbage clothes. I need someone to just burn them all. Let's switch this to destroy apparel, and we're gonna order Ray to just... You know what? She doesn't need... Let's just burn this. Refine it. Also, we need to make sure all these potatoes are inside, because look at all that food. That will feed us for a couple seasons. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Lucky for you, you only want to be androgynous. Ah, okay. First time your body overreacts and the food stops going through your system and literally rots in your stomach and you end up throwing up around food's gonna be rude or waking anyone taking because they want to and because they have to. You know what's really funny too? I remember reading somewhere that insurance companies basically refuse to pay for Ozempic because they charge so much. It's like what, $1,500 a month for Ozempic? So a lot of insurance companies just straight up say, no, you're not going on Ozempic at all. You want it, that's out of your own pocket. Do literally anything else. And I don't blame them because the company that makes Ozempic knows they can charge an arm and a leg for it. Like there can be like there is legitimate purposes for medicine like Ozempic, especially if like say you're like, I'm not a medical professional in any way despite the fact, okay, but my assumption is that if you are like say either you need a surgery of some kind and you need to lose a metric ton of weight quickly, or you're some say diabetic or something that you have some reason to lose a ton of weight quickly, like say you're incredibly obese and you need to lose it, that's probably the main reason why it exists. But it's probably like an actual reason for wasn't Ozempic like what, like a kidney medication or something at some point, or wasn't that like the initial purpose and then it's just kind of turned into a like a weight loss drug? What do they call it? Semaglutide. You know what's really funny? So when I'm in Canada, I will watch when I'm in Canada, I will put on the TV in the hotel, you know, just to kind of have like something to relax and listen to, right? I think that's a thing normal people do, right? You know what's very amusing? There are so many advertisements on Canadian TV about weight loss drugs. Like, I was surprised. Like, they don't advertise Ozempic, but I swear every 3-minute ad block, they are always advertising something like Wegovy, which is a very similar product to Ozempic. And I'm just like, like, chill, guys. Like, you don't have to be advertising this all the time, but I guess they're that desperate. Canadian ads are so funny. Not just like the drug ads, but they're always just like, oh, you buy our food. Look, this is the, you know how like fast food companies love doing ads in America where it's like the all-American burger or the all-American meal of like, or the barbecue, the hot dog, the fries. They do the same exact thing in Canada, but they just replace the words American with Canadian and just add a slightly more polite tone and maybe add the word eh somewhere. That is every fast food advertisement in Canada, and it's so funny. It's possible that maybe Wegovy is easier to get in Canada, and that's why they can advertise it there. Because probably all the stocks of Ozempic are going to the US where they can make a killing on it instead. But I don't know. I'm always of the opinion that like you take that pill, you take that injection, that's a dangerous game you're playing. It's the same way crash diets don't work. Once you get off of that thing, you're just gonna gain it all back. And it's gonna be a disaster. And then you're kind of like dependent on it to like maintain your weight loss. Inject me with 100 milligrams of hot soup. Oh, trust me, it's too late. I already had soup for dinner. I had a nice bowl of udon with some shredded Costco rotisserie chicken, and it was perfect because it's been very cold here, like freezing temperatures, and I've been very chilly, so I figured that was the best thing to eat. And Ray was like, I want some. I'm like, well, you're not here. Sorry, you got to be here to have the soup. I would actually love to have some hot pot. I would love hot pot right now. But I also know hot pot's not exactly healthy, so no, I'm not going to go out of my way to hunt down some hot pot. Before sees your heater. Actually, it's really funny because my my personal space has, I think, a slight draft from the window, and it's always a little cold. So I've been trying to run games that are more intense to maybe mitigate the temperature problem, and it's working kind of. I kind of run like City Skylines 2 for like 2 hours, and then my room is nice and toasty again. And I have slippers that I use all the time. I have these slippers that I bought from Japan. They're like a little over a year old. They're like room slippers. They're like 300 yen. They're so good. I'm still using them to this day. I throw them in the wash every couple, like maybe once a month or so. No, I don't like putting on socks. I don't like wearing socks. I don't like wearing socks, so no, I'm not gonna put on socks. What was the other thing too? But yeah. So, I don't even like wearing, like... I'm kind of wrapped up in a blanket, honestly. I'm actually just wrapped up in a blanket because it's nice and cozy. And I found it was the best way to just at least stay warm in a way that I find the most enjoyable. Also, forgot. This should be fine. Okay, so do we have enough food? We are actually running out of food, but thankfully we have... Okay, those will last a long time. Those potatoes will last a long time, too. We have enough storage to last for an unreasonable amount of time. I've been thinking about getting one of those, like, heated blankets. Actually, I will say, if I had a lot of space, I would love to get one of those... What's it called? I would love to have a kotatsu. If I had space and... If I had the space around, like, in my room to put one there, I think I would just be sitting in there all the time while I eat or do work. But I sit at a desk because that's what I do, and I literally don't have room for anything like that, so, you know, that's just how it be. I do need a kotatsu. Hello, Selvari, how are you, comrade? So, actually, I remember looking on Amazon, too, at some point, like, how much a kotatsu is, and like, oh, you can buy them directly, like, it's imported, but you have to buy, like, a special, I don't know what you want to call it, like a what do you call it, a transformer or something, to convert from the Japanese voltage, or from the American voltage to a Japanese voltage, so that you don't burn your house down. But man, wouldn't it be great to be sitting under a table that is just fully heated, and you have nice cushy blankets, and it'll be nice and cozy while you eat a soup. Why does it always go back to soup? What's wrong with me? 3K food will last us, like, I don't know, how long do you think this 3,000 food would last us? Like 1 season? 1 season is fairly unreasonable. Actually, we have a lot more potatoes incoming anyways. Look at all those potatoes. We'll get them in, and then we'll start to, convert them. It's made out of soup. I can't believe it. Who's gonna break the bad news to Ray that I have a brain tumor and it's made out of hot pot and soup? My brain is fish balls. That's a lot of people attacking us. We gotta get Skype on that leg. Is it the right leg? Are they attacking immediately? Okay, okay, let's get this done. So they're gonna take a little bit of time, so I can probably refill this real quick. And then we can go fight them off. Are they attacking us right away? No. Perfect. So let's see if we can get Skype on that brand new peg leg that he's been waiting for. Alright, I don't want Z Opposer to do it. I want Ray to do it. Actually, Z Opposer is probably the better person. Just let Ray do it. That should be fine. 300 meals for 9 people. 2 meals a day. So, what is that? 18 divide 300 by 6. Is that really that? Is that all really? Hold on. If it's 18, so 300 divided by 18. Oh yeah, that is 16 days. Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, that's actually not a lot. Okay, well, good thing we have large potato crops coming in, so we'll be able to refill that larder quickly. So you have to remember, I do math with Microsoft Excel. I do my math with Microsoft Excel. If I don't have a spreadsheet in front of me, how will I be able to do the math correctly? Listen, I was born with a spreadsheet. I will die by the spreadsheet. And I hate that I hate that Excel keeps pushing this stupid Copilot thing. So I actually tried using Copilot recently on a very low risk spreadsheet. And I basically just asked it to basically take this stack of data and see if it could just generate a specific set of information based off of that data. Right? So imagine if it was something like take this stack of, take this giant list of people and like say some of their earnings, and then can you please convert this into a very concise table of by summing up all of the stuff that has to do with this specific code or this specific code. It didn't do it correctly, and I had to spend so much time trying to wrangle the dang thing into understanding what I wanted it to do. And then as for a comparison, I pulled up the pivot table tool and I did exactly what I was looking for in the span of about, I don't know, 2 minutes, because pivot tables are really easy. Also, I gotta go big face. Okay. Where's my VTube Studio program? I don't know where VTube Studio is. Hey. Hey, gamers. It's me. Oh, shoot. How do I look on the small... How do I look on the vertical one? Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm big now in the tiny corner. That's acceptable. That's fine, right? Look at me. Hey, I'm in the corner. Isn't it great? Okay, we gotta go deal with this fight real fast. Why are we throwing things at me? Oh, for the big throws? Oh, that's really funny because the way I'm angled on the other one, you actually can't see me. Oh well, that's funny. All right, let's see if we can go defend Garm from violence. And Sun just shot Infidave in the back. All right, let's pull Garm out of here, and then let's maybe not have everyone standing here. There we go. That'll be fine. Actually, I've been wondering, what are the thoughts on if I just did a, like, a lot of times Rimworld is kind of just a chatting stream with Rimworld in the background. What are the thoughts on just attempting a just normal chatting stream? I don't know if I could do it for 4 hours, but I've always wondered what are the opinion on that, but I think most people just want Rimworld. Halberd's bugged out. Is it not doing damage? I wasn't paying attention. Let's get Infidave out of here. There we go. Okay, let's pull you out, pull you out, pull you out, pull you out. There we go. What do you mean the cursed things I would utter? Oh, it's being held back. Wait, wait, really? I wasn't even paying attention to it. Anyways, oh shoot. Let's get you back here. You gotta fight. Yeah, let's get back you over here. Okay, so the opposer's down. He doesn't have a toe anymore, which I guess is unfortunate. Let's get rescue, and then you undraft. That should be fine. Okay, maybe I have to give it a shot at some point. It's not something I've ever done, but I see a lot of streamers like doing it. It's like, welcome to the just chatting stream. Big face, hello, Greywind. Yes, you like how big I am? Look at my absolute width here. It's not terribly difficult to actually make things sound cursed. You just have to know what you're doing to make it sound cursed, right? Like the double, what's the word? Double, I don't want to say it because I know I'm going to mispronounce it and someone's going to make fun of me for not saying it correctly. I'm going to Google it. Double entendre. That's the word. Double entendre. Please tell me that's the correct pronunciation.
Double entendre.
Entendre. Thank you, Google. You still say it weird? Listen. Everyone says I say things weird. So it's not entendre, it's entendre? It's the same way like people are like, oh, it's not foyer, it's foyer. It's not Ontario, it's Ontario. It's that French influence. It's always the French coming up with weird pronunciations for words that are... What's the thing? I saw some video the other day where it's like, what if English was phonetically consistent? And I'm like, that should be English. Just because at least it'd be consistent. Even if it sounds wrong now to us today, it only sounds wrong because we only understand it now. Oh, Sun just became an adult. Oh, he's naked. Do we get a... Oh, here we go. All right, so what are we doing for Sun? Okay, so Sun gets a passion in what? I guess crafting. And then Sun is, let's see, too smart, tough, temperature tolerant. I think too smart for their own good. I think that's fine. Tough is also really tempting too for a Hussar tough? Wait, Hussar tough sounds crazy good. Hold on. Wouldn't this make the incoming damage multiplier be something like, what, 25%? Or like 33%? Something like that? I'm not exactly sure how it adds up. But that's gotta be nuts, right? Hold on, let's try that. I like that. Too smart is tempting, but 35%? Okay, so it's like 33 rounded. Okay. Yeah, we'll take tough. That's crazy good. Alright, let's get these guys tended to. Ray is working overtime as a doctor as usual. I think they'll be okay though. Yeah, because the opposer's the other doctor and he's kind of dying. So let's quickly tend over here. Just figure out which wounds are the most important and then we'll take care of them one by one. Okay, so you'll be fine. And then Garm here is our substitute doctor who's able to do their job just okay. We'll need more medicine kits, we're running out. Can make more of these, that's fine. Perfect. Yeah, it should be fine. It's not brisket, it's briquet. I don't know how to pronounce these words. Like I said, I only know English. And a bit of Japanese. And I can do like a really bad Filipino accent. I can do the funny Filipino accent and talk like this the entire time. That's a lie too. No, it's not. I speak English fluently. I was born speaking the Queen's own tongue, and now I've become a master of the English. I do Spanish. Spanish accent? I can't do a Spanish accent. I don't really know any Spanish words either, despite the fact, like I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say? Like asada taco por favor, like that type of thing. Like, please, I want a steak taco. I live near a lot of Mexican restaurants, and yes, I'm the one who goes in there and orders in English because I'm not gonna butcher the language. 30% of us are Hispanic here, Lamau. I mean, that sounds about right, especially like if you're Central America, Northern South America, right? Oh, people are starving. Who's starving? Infidave is starving. Why? Why have you not had anything to eat? There is... Oh, there's no meals. Who's the cook? Garm's the cook. Garm hasn't cooked a meal in some time. Maybe we need to get Garm cooking, ideally now. I'm gonna get those food, like, hauled inside real quick. And Infidave is now slaughtering animals. Well, I guess we didn't really need all these animals. I guess he's going for the Stegosaurus. Unfortunate. Okay, well, at least he can eat now. I'm gonna translate colloquial Japanese to equivalent English and you don't know how it happened. The language is all vibes based anyways. I swear to God, if I hear the words vibes based another time, I'm gonna lose it. Everything is vibes based now. Coding is vibe based now. Yeah, who needs to learn about things like syntax and, you know, reading error logs when you can just, it's all vibes. Just type in a prompt, man. Let the AI give you the program, man. Vibe coding is the way of the future. Actually, vibe coding is not, realistically though, like, vibe coding is not the worst thing to ever come out. If you're like really bad at programming and you just need kind of like a jumping off point for a very basic project, I guess I can get the purpose of it, but at the same time, it's like, it would be good for someone if you're going to be entering the realm of, you know, making programs, at least learn what makes your program tick and how it works. Like, I'm not going to be asking ChatGPT to vibe code me an entire Star Sector mod. I'm just going to learn the syntax of how it all operates. But that's also because I have a background in coding stuff in Roblox back in the day, which I don't know if I ever talked about it, but there was a point at where, before Roblox had their IPO, like way back in the day, Roblox was doing like weekly dev streams or something, and apparently one of my stuff got featured on a Roblox dev stream, which was really interesting because I didn't know that at all because I didn't watch any of that stuff, and it was like a year or two after I'd kind of stopped playing the game, and I got a DM out of nowhere from like some former friend who was like willing to buy my account for some like $300-400, and I was like, not really. I have sentimental value to the account, so I'm gonna keep it. And then I found out later on, like, oh, okay, it was actually featured in a dev stream. I was like, that's kind of sick, actually. That's kind of how I learned like some coding, because it was all Lua based stuff. If someone has a posted bug, that has to be my mod, because they asked ChatGPT to tell them what's wrong in the game, and they refused to give the actual log. There is a lot of people who take anything AI says as gospel, And those are the people that are like the most dangerous and most ill-informed. Because I think it shows a severe lack of critical thinking on their part if they just are going to rely on... Like okay. It's one thing to use a tool to help you parse a log and figure out what's going on. It's another thing when if you're using a specialized tool to parse a log, that's one thing. If you're using a general language model to parse a log for you, you're probably going to run into issues because it's going to tell you what you want to hear and not what it's actually true. Being seen as the fun police for disliking AI stuff and pointing it out. Listen, that you should never feel like you're the fun police. You are basically, you're just telling it how it is. Some people need a kick in the butt and be told like, hey, this ain't right, stop it. We should make alcohol. I just realized, how do we manufacture alcohol? If we can keep this room warm enough, that's probably fine, right? The problem is, let's see. Also, it's here. Oh, geez. I'm trying to think how we grow alcohol. We have potatoes. Oh, but we keep smoking. Oh, we have a decent amount. So if we go... Maybe we need to make a wine cellar somewhere. What if we make the wine cellar here-ish? We can shrink this up a little bit like that, and we can just be like, the Royal Wine Cellar. Somewhere thereabouts here. But then we'll need to make a wine processing room, which is also a bit of a disaster. So maybe we do a processing room... What if we kidnap the... What if we just take the prison apart? Turn the prison into a wine cellar. Or a wine production. I think that's actually fine. Let's do that. I actually kind of like that idea. Let's do exactly that. We're going to turn this area into wine production. Let's dismantle this and just kind of reform that. The AI continues to rot us all. Trust me. It sucks. It'll be your job. Oh, it's your job? Oh, being HR and a safety inspector. Just... Someone gives you grief for using AI, for policing AI, tell them... What's the saying that IBM used to have? AI, a computer should never make a managerial decision because a computer answers to no one or something like that, whatever they used to say. Slap the design intern's neck. Is the design intern using AI? Are they using AI tools for mock-ups instead of, you know, utilizing the skills that they've learned and developed to create their own designs? What a shame. What a tragedy. That's what it is. We truly live in an era. So let me drink my water. God, I have so much food. We have to actually still plant more of this, and these potatoes are still gonna grow. Because I keep giving you code samples despite not being a dev, and no one writes code like num1 to just their variables, not even students. Hello, Garm, how are you? Actually, I was one of those people who, I actually do name my give my variables proper names. I think the only time I never give a variable a proper name is if I'm using it as like a generic counter, where it's like a for I equals whatever type loop thing. But most of the time, like, yes, I will actually organize my variables and give them correct names. Like, if you look at my star sector code for the Necrograd mod, which is not available yet, it is actually properly named correctly. Yes, I name my variables, I do not name my layers. I am a walking disaster. Oh wait, I can be normal size now. I'm like overdue for this. Let's do this real quick. Also, hi Garm, enjoy your lurking, Garm. Hopefully you have a good rest. There we go. I'm more normal sized. Again, German suplex. They'll think it's hug until the moment. It's a suggestion, but you'll code it yourself. Hello, Normar. The engineer has appeared. Boss music started. What's your boss music? Actually, if you had boss music, what would be your boss music? That's the real question. You ever think about that? Like, if you were a character, what is your Dark Souls boss music? And I was like, And I remember, like, I used to think about that, like, because when I used to run D&D, when I used to run tabletop RPGs, I was very much a fan of big set-piece boss fights. So a lot of times I had specific game, like, I love the power that music has to develop a scene and a mood. So I had very specific songs in mind for every major character that I had introduced into the story that would end up being a boss fight later down the line. Yes, it happens a lot. It's not necessarily railroady, but it was like I had certain concepts, and like a lot of my favorite ones were from like Octopath Traveler had some amazing music that had a lot of my favorite boss musics. War Without Reason from what? What is that from? War Without Reason, if I Google this up. From Ultra Kill. I assume this is like one of those like heavy like rock type things, because that's how Ultra Kill's music normally is. Your boss could be farting tubas. Well, I mean, does that mean you're kind of like the gag boss? The boss that is there as a joke? And then everyone's just kind of like, ah, but the secret boss actually gives you some super crazy weapons, or like some super crazy skills that they can and weapons that they can only unlock by defeating you. So yeah, that's kind of how I ran a lot of D&D stuff, where it's like I use specific OSTs. I can even remember specifically, like, so Octopath Traveler has a really good, I think it's called, there's a really good track. I think it's called They Who Govern Reason, and it's one of my favorites to use as boss battles. I believe it's actually used as like a finale, like for the super secret hidden boss. And it's just amazing to listen to when it's when I use it as a boss theme. And I think I also use a bunch of other ones, like Final Fantasy was like a big source of music. I definitely used a lot of Final Fantasy 10 or 14 OST in some of my previous campaigns, and it's great. Like, oh, I have an area that is basically totally not Japan. You ever notice this, by the way? I read a lot of garbage isekai. Hold on. Would be kind of funny for these to start playing out of nowhere. That would be kind of ominous more than hilarious. So I read a lot of garbage isekai, and there was one I've been reading recently. Well, I was reading it already, but I didn't expect it to go completely off the rails. I guess it's the best way to describe it, because I was reading it, and for whatever reason, it turned from a normal power fantasy isekai into kind of a magical girl mecha show and or series, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I think they've lost the plot, but they're just going with it because it's funny. Let's see. Dreadmon Boogaloo. I don't know what this is. What is this? Dreadmon Boogaloo by ZZ Top. Oh, this actually is okay. Got it. Okay, so I got it. Your boss theme is you're an Appalachian or Rocky Mountains Wendigo or something. Hello, Normar. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to the purple side. Are you having fun here on the purple side? I really need to figure out what I'm gonna do about that chat window at the top. I think it's not perfect. Actually, let me see how the chat looks on my phone. Huh, actually doesn't look too bad. That actually looks alright, huh? We might see trying this again in the future, because it's actually not the worst thing we ever tried on this stream. Was there actually a lot of latency on the YouTube side? Because I thought I set it to low latency, but at this point, I don't know anymore. There's a quest here real quick. 23 Glitter World medicine if we destroy a camp that's guarded by 3 people who probably have guns. However, we actually did manufacture our own gun. So, we have an archivist, and I'm gonna give that to Garm. So Garm is gonna go from a person carrying an arbalist and carrying an archivist instead. I am probably pronouncing that incorrectly. 20 seconds. Oh, is it that bad? Jeez, I set it to ultra low latency. I didn't realize it was gonna be that bad. I'm sorry. I don't know why YouTube has really bad latency issues as of late. Because I know people were complaining about it last week too, but if it's happening now, that's bad. So I don't know. I really wish there was a way to put my face on the vertical stream on the YouTube. Oh well. It's fine. Okay. I figured a lot of times if you just refresh, it's generally okay. Actually, I'm trying to think, what would my boss music be? If I had a boss theme, I think I would want it to be like a fantasy Boss music. I don't know what it would be though. I have to think. I will say, like, I think, no, it's not memes. I don't like, no, my boss music is not memes. No, it probably wouldn't be vaguely Russian either. I'm not even Russian, like, at all is the funny thing. I don't know why people have, like, some weird, as, like, I'm not Russian in any way. Like, I don't have any Russian blood, but we definitely get a lot of Russian people who show up every now and again. Center screen take up 2/3 of the space so no one can see the game. Oh, you mean, like, hold on. I know, so you're saying that I should be like, hold on, I should be like this. Oh, whoops, that's not the right thing. Let's grab, you know, I should probably group these. You're saying I should be like this, right? I should stream like this. Hey, it's me, your favorite gamer streamer. Don't look at the game. Look at me instead. That is the way that the Lord demands it of you. Pay attention to your streamer, not to your game. Let's go back to normal. I think that's correct, right? I think that's fine. Bigger? Hey. There's no Boba here. There's... I don't know what you're looking for, but there's no assets here. There's no... You're not gonna find anything here. At all. What's normal for VTubers? Do you want, like, are you looking for a serious answer or more the funny meme answer? Because I can give you both. I can give you both. So, the thing with... It really depends, like, the type of content that the streamer's doing. I think a lot of just chatting streamers, like, they always are going to put themselves, like, front and center or to the side, like, behind a table. Right? Like, that's a very common thing for VTubers to do. And that's kind of, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because, like, if you're doing your talk show, you want to be, like, front and center because you're the main focus. But for people like me who primarily focus on streaming games, I'm going to be in the corner because you need to be able to see the game, but you also need to be able to see me, right? I think that makes sense. Funny meme, obviously. Okay, fair enough. You wait, the sentient toilet streamer. Yeah, I want a toilet streamer that's basically like a Toto Japanese toilet washlet that has gained sentience and is just literally eating... it's just, people are just shitting on them the entire time. As like in the way that like they're making fun of them the whole time, and he just like rolls with it. I think that'd be the way to do that. There's the joke of the just chatting ASMR VTuber with massive breasticles and that sultry voice. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I guarantee you it's not just chatting. It's also, one, there's an ASMR category on Twitch, and two, it's also I always talk about it, but like the VR chat category, it's always that content. And I've said it many times before, if that's your type of thing, more power to you. I don't care. But for me as an individual, I basically do not want to get anywhere near that content at all. Okay? Like, not only do I find that content, I don't know how to describe it. Like, that content is not necessarily degrading. I know VTubers who do that, and they're perfectly normal people that just enjoy making ASMR content. But one, if I ever try to do that, Ray's gonna murder me, so I would never even betray her trust in that manner. Two, it's just... who would want to listen to me do ASMR? And three, it's just like, I don't want to push that whole... what do you want to call it? Like, BFE, GFE experience, which is really the main purpose for those types of things. I know there's people who are like the cozy tingles ASMR. It's like, oh, we're gonna do like... we're gonna just do a little bit of triggers today, like listen to me pop these bubbles on this bubble wrap, or crinkle this popcorn, and then funny rubbing noises like scratching, and it's like, okay, I don't know what this is for, but there's clearly for someone. I could read the yellow pages. I could probably read you my Jagariko ingredients list. Jagariko ingredients: potatoes, vegetable oil, palm, oil, rice oil, dehydrated potatoes, non-fat dairy milk, powdered, vegetable oil, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not gonna read, but you get the idea. Your chat, it was the most... yeah, people like, oh my gosh, they're always moaning. They're always, it's all the time. Where it's just like, you're just like, you know, they're just doing like, oh, it's okay. You're such a good boy. Like that. And it's like, okay, chill. Oh, that's the running joke, I think. But again, if someone wants to listen to that, that's their prerogative. I'm not here to judge. Right? I think it also just like depends like who's making that type of content too. Because I think, from my understanding at least, there's a stark difference between Western and Eastern ASMR, where I think Western ASMR definitely leans a lot more into the whole like sensual nature of it, whereas Eastern, like Japanese, Chinese, whatever, Korean ASMR tends to be a lot more the whole, you know, you're such a good boy, you're doing your best type thing. Also ear cleaning. Your channel's on Gunnar Baywell, you know how his chat wins the lottery, he will commission a furry. I would never commission for cat girl. First of all, I'm not a furry. So that's the non-starter. So just putting that out right there. If I had a lot of money to commission a model, I would commission a full proper 3D model. Okay. Oh my gosh, look, Garm is actually shooting people. It's beautiful. Oh, they're right on top of us now. All right, maybe we gotta pull Garm back. All right, let's go here so we can intercept that spot and put the opposer here. Move right here. I don't think I want to listen to Nimi giving me a lobotomy. I think I'm good. What is this animation? Okay, I see what you mean by it being cursed. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, that thing broke. Okay, let's have you go. Oh, there we go. They all give up, or just that stack? Okay, just that stack is giving up. All right, let's run them down. Run them down. Okay, go there, and then let's have these two chase down that one. And I think these guys can chill. All right, they gave up. Perfect. Well, I think the idea is that it's supposed to be like an overhead swing, like they're preparing for an overhead swing, but there's no animation to go with it. I think that's the intent, but I cannot confirm or deny. Also, I'm going to change this. I don't know why we're growing potatoes here. I would like to grow... Ooh, let's grow some heel root. That'll be fine. Well, I think they're going for like a stylistic interpretation, but I think without the animation, I think it's the main problem. Also being forced out of the casino by security. What do you mean? What do you mean being forced out of the casino? What's your ASMR? Losing your life savings at Vegas and then being forced out of the casino by security. I mean, you know what? What I would do is I would just... Actually, all this talk about ASMR has reminded me of this really funny video that I saw. I'll get to it in a second. How do you think humans discovered alcohol in the olden days? Someone probably left some... Like, it's like alcohol is fermentation. So someone probably left something out for a little too long. They came back to drink it, and they probably made juice, right? Probably some kind of juice. Like, let's say wine. And then they're like, oh, we left it out for a little too long. They drank it, and then it's like, huh, this is actually pretty good and makes you feel funny. Let's go gambling. Lose all our life savings. Or ASMR interesting a Victorian child to Fortnite. Seems like Pachinko main Texas Hold'em. Just looks... Listen, you're not wrong, but I would also not actually spend money at a Pachinko parlor. But I do like Pachinko machines in the sense that I do like watching funny marbles fly around and then score me points. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm also self-aware enough that I would never even go gambling and spend money. I think one time me and Ray stayed at a casino for our hotel, and it was a really nice hotel, like, not gonna lie. Like, that room was pretty banging, especially the bathroom had like a separate shower and a separate bath, and it was just nice and warm the whole time with like a built-in heater in the ceiling or something like that. It was really cool, but it's like, I still don't want to gamble ever. But I'm suddenly reminded of this really weird video that I saw one time, and it's like, to me, I was like, this is what ASMR content should be. Let me see if I can find it. It was so good. I think it was literally called 2 hours of silence, except a German guy interrupts you every now and again to make sure you're doing homework. German soldier homework. Like, it's an actual German dude. Oh, here we go. I found it. It's this video by Radical Living 2 hours of a German World War II officer to help you study work focus. Where, like, can you imagine? Like, the idea is that it's mostly silence like this, and then every now and again he'll just come back in and then just check in on you like this. And I'm just like, you know what? This probably has actually helped someone get through their homework. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Look at that, he's so nice, he's giving you water before he ends up committing other heinous crimes of that we shall not speak of. But people come up with some of the funniest ideas, and I love it. I love stupid content like this. But yeah, no. Like I said, I know a lot of people are into doing ASMR content, but it's not the type of content I ever really interact with or interface with myself, so you can rest assured you're not going to be hearing Professor ASMR ever in the near future, unless it's a giant gag. And even then, I'd probably have to run by Ray to make sure, because I thought the one I did the other day about the whole I can't remember the words anymore. Oh, you know what we need to do? Hold on. We gotta build the alcohol system. Yeah, the idea is that I'll hopefully get you all a Christmas album. I don't think it's gonna come in time. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna come in time for Christmas. I've had a lot of things to do recently, and yes, I am actually coming up with an excuse right now. It's not literally coming up with an excuse, but I have an excuse. It's unlikely to come out in time for Christmas just because I've had a lot of things to do, and I may have dropped the ball on getting in contact with certain people, and also Twitter kind of screwed me on that as well. So I'm hoping that while it may not come in time for Christmas, it will still come in time around, if not the New Year's, a little after the New Year. Trust me. The tax code is not that exciting. Also, what do you mean Ray's on fire tonight? Is she posting something somewhere that I'm not reading? No, okay. I didn't know what you're talking about, but like, the tax code is very boring, and legitimately, like, the US government loves to likes to use many words to say few things, is the best way to describe it. The IRS code is painful, and a lot of it is just like, you have to know specifically what you're looking for to understand the tax code. Because, hold on, have you ever seen, hold on, let me see if I can find the stupid thing. So have you ever seen the US tax code? So this is the official US government United States code, which is the consolidation of basically all the laws in the US, right? Perfectly fine, understandable. Also, Skypeon has an infection which got tended to. Perfect. Okay. So the funny thing is, if you go all the way down to 26 is the IRS. I just want to point out how many categories there are here. Okay. There is a lot. If you're watching this on mobile, here, I guess we'll angle it like this. The IRS code is long. Okay. And a lot of times you have to be like really specific of what you're looking for. Like, let's say I want to learn about income taxes. So I'm going to go to Title 26, Subtitle A, and then I have to then pick and choose specifically where I want to go. So income taxes for self-employment income as a VTuber, that's relevant to me. Then I have to pick another, then I have to go to the correct section, and then I have to read all of it, and then it opens up another window, and then let's just say, it doesn't want to load it properly. But anyways, the code is very, very long, and I don't recommend reading it. But if you're ever interested in law, I mean, hey, you go for it. Don't worry the Napa 70 for the electrician the same way that Brown on the Brown action makes it unreadable to you. Yeah, a lot of times they pick really bad fonts. Can't really do much about that. This is kind of the norm for government agencies. To, like, get to remember too, the main thing with these government websites is that they need to be readable on most devices, right? So they're not going to be doing anything flashy with, you know, CSS or HTML5 or back in the day, back when we used Flash Player for everything. God. Some people are probably too young to know this, which I think is really dating me, but Anyways, there was a time when so many websites used Flash for everything, and why is that flickering on my screen only? I think that's just flickering on my screen only. That's really odd. Let's just close that window real quick. There was a time when almost every single website used Flash Media Player by Adobe, for their entire website concept. So you would be you'd go to like a website and you'd want to browse their menu, but it would be in this like stupid, 800 by 600 Flash program that took like, I don't know, 2 minutes to load, because back then internet speeds were really slow, and we're talking almost like, 100, 200 megabytes for a website. It was awful. In Twitter, you're so mad, then you make a Robot Master contest only for new Mega on Twitter only. What is the Robot Master? Oh, you're designing a character. Got it. That's kind of interesting as a concept. So anyways, like back in the day, everything was on Flash Player. So you'd go to, say, your local pizza place website, if they had a website, and you would have to wait until they loaded the Flash Player media applet, and then they had to download it because you have to wait for the whole thing to load, which could take from, like, depending on your internet speed in the dial-up era, could be a while, maybe like a minute or two, and then you could finally navigate their menu. But because it was in Flash Player, you couldn't just copy paste information if you knew how to do that. If you didn't know how to take a screenshot, you couldn't do that. You couldn't just, it was just on this stupid, web applet that you couldn't get out of. You had to use it to interact with the website. It was awful. I don't know where I'm getting with this, but I was just like really annoyed about it back in the day, and I'm still really annoyed about it now. But Flash Player is long dead, and the only reason I ever used Flash Player for the most part was to play, Flash games. Like, what were the games that people used to play? Like those ones of the trenches. I don't know if anyone has any idea what I'm talking about. Like those Flash games where you had to send soldiers over the trenches to defeat your enemies and win World War I. I cannot remember what it was called, but I played that game like crazy. Yeah, Neopets is another one. I know Ray played a lot of Neopets. I think she said she logged into her Neopets account recently, and I was like, I didn't even realize she still had her login. Because I don't remember my Neopets login. I don't remember anything about Neopets. Like, if I have an account, it's long gone. Battleship Got 'em. I don't know what that is. Oh, Bubble Wars is like another. Bubble Tanks was another one, and there's a lot of other interesting titles, but I'm not gonna get into those because some of those are probably best left to the annals of history, where none can ever think or remember them. Some things are just not meant for people to remember. Also, I need to find a way to like refuel these on the more regular. I know Sun is set to kind of handle most of these, but I need Sun to also just kind of craft now, as he's got a passion for it. So we'll order Sun to craft when possible, train when not, and then I guess we'll order someone else to clean. If Rare Pickle is not building, I want Rare Pickle to be cleaning. I think that's going to be how we're going to do this. And then Steve, if you've got nothing else, I want you to fish. And then Zeoposer, okay. That's fine. Oh, we're being raided again. Alright, that's a lot of people. They are not happy with us. We don't have any automated defenses, which is becoming a bit of a liability. So unfortunately, we don't have a colony Roomba right now because we need more people. But I think right now Rare Pickle is kind of the colony Roomba if he's not working, which is kind of the best thing I can afford to do at the current time. Anyways, we gotta go deal with this stack of people that are attacking immediately, so let's get over here. Now, maybe not Skypeon. Skypeon, you have an infection. I think you should stay in bed so that you are not gonna die. That tend is gonna last another 2 hours. That's fine, so stay in bed, please. Then Ray, while you're here, please tend to them. And everyone else will hold the line. Let's get Garm up front. Sun on the big ballista. Let's get Theoposer over here, Infidave here, and then Steve right over here. So. I still didn't remember the secret Jelly World. That totally didn't. I probably would not have remembered. I also played Gaia Online when I was a kid, but that's a whole different discussion. Gaia Online definitely was one of the games of all time that definitely existed. That we only talk about in memory. I don't even know if that thing's still alive. Is Gaia Online still a thing? Gaia Online. I'm curious if it still exists. I have to know. Oh, it's still around. Oh my goodness. You know what we should do? You know what I should do? It's time to create the Alright, the new thing is that here's new Yukinora Research Institute lore. New lore. There is a Gaia Online clone hidden deep within the intranet that people use to interact with one another and to generate their profile pictures. Actually, it's not even hidden, it's just there. You can, the more you participate in your team programs, the more points you can get to acquire cool new accessories. That's the new Institute lore. Let's go with that. Oh my gosh, these guys are actually like heavily armored. They're actually kind of hard to kill. Where's Garm? Garm's still trying to pot shot at them. I don't think I played any of the Battleon games, no. I remember also like a lot of my whatever I did like was kind of not quite restricted, but I had specific things that I was into. Come on, you can kill him, Garm. You got a good shot. All right, let's just go up over there and blast the poor guy. This thing is not doing that well. Okay, we gotta go chase down the last one, so we're gonna have these three go over there. I think these two can chill, and then we're gonna have Ray tend to people before they explode. Okay, so we got Rare Piccolo's dying, so why don't we have Ray go over here. Tend to Z Opposer, who is our other main doctor, but he's super injured. And then just go pop that poor guy. There we go. You go to the back. Yeah, that animation is really funny to look at. Like, I kind of see what they're trying to do, where it's like hoisted over the shoulder, and then they're going to swing down like a giant axe. But that's a very stylistic way of using it, and not necessarily, you know, I guess proper form. But I guess it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Is he gonna run? We're letting him run. Or is he gonna keep attacking us? Alright, well, I think we managed to get through most of the triage. We just gotta get through the rest of it. Ray is a very overworked medical doctor. And then Skypion has an infection. That should be fine. Okay. As long as everyone gets over here, they can be tended. They just need to get over here so they can be tended. Except Steve is now having a mental breakdown, so I cannot tend to this poor fellow. Okay. I do need to use the restroom because I've been yapping for like 2 hours. And yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water too, so I will be... Oh, I didn't put the BRB thing on the other one yet. Okay, hold on, I gotta do that real quick. Can I just copy this and paste it here? No! What? Copy? That's so dumb. Oh my god, so you cannot just copy paste into the vertical sources. You have to manually add it? Oh my lord. This is awful. Who designed this? Oh wait, hold on. This was called group. Oh no, I can. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna just take this pot of hot pot, and I'm just gonna drag it on top of myself in the vertical one. I'm gonna turn it on the other one too. I'll be right back. Hopefully nothing bad happens, but you can kind of gawk at everyone who's trying to get tended to. Let's get everyone to a bed real quick. They don't explode. And then someone probably will rescue this one, and that should be fine. I'll just let you look at the hospital in the meanwhile. How do I need to find a way to link these because it's very annoying that I have to keep manually clicking these away. Okay, so you thought you forgotten to get one of the plush centipedes while they were sale because you're too busy at the time? Guess that's part of your own inner loot goblin. I didn't end up buying one of them. I kind of wish I had bought some of the, like, the Thrumbo plushie, but I just kind of forgot to order stuff, and I think a lot of times when these things were coming in, like, money was becoming a little bit, not quite an issue, but it's like I would rather have just held on to my money instead. I also don't have a lot of space for plushies. Ray's more of the plush person than I am. Speaking of cool things, though, I do want to show something very interesting. So, I mentioned this a few times before, but I do practice Kyudo, Japanese archery, which I've talked about not quite super extensively on this channel, but I've talked about it a couple times. And one very interesting thing that came in finally after waiting a very long time was I actually received my Yumi, my bow, because shipping from Japan is kind of a disaster. And so I kind of want to be a weeb and name my Yumi, but it came in. It's tall. It's like very, very tall. Hold on, I'm trying to put on the other one too. Oh, there's no easy way to like move this on here, is there? And that needs to go below me, so it should be like this. Okay, so this thing, I don't even know how to describe how tall this thing is, but it's tall. Okay, if you don't know, a Japanese longbow is gonna be taller than a person, and the way it works is that you hold it from like the middle of the lower half, and so a lot of it's very asymmetrical, and you'll understand if I show a photo of it in use, which I'm just gonna go on Firefox real quick, and we're just gonna pull that up real quick. Yumi. Opening boxes have been sitting around neglect. You finally got your Nendroid Kiara, so myth can be completed in itself, not reality. Listen, hey, at least you managed to get the Nendroids for all of them. I thought about getting a Gura Nendroid, but I kind of forgot about ordering one at some point. Okay, that is not at all what I meant when I typed in Yumi. Bow. So, like, when you use a Japanese Yumi, or Japanese bow, you typically have to hold it. Like, you notice in this image where it's way... Oh, hold on, it's not showing up correctly in the other one. Let's see. Where it's way higher on the top than the lower half. And that's essentially what I had just acquired. Now, mine isn't made out of wood, as much as I would like to. Wood is very much designed for more experienced users because of the maintenance involved with it. So what I ended up getting is like a carbon fiber type one, so it's a lot more easy to maintain and manage. Right. I will drink, worry not. So I'm very happy that it finally came in, because, I mean, I waited basically months for this thing, and I'm very, very happy. However, do you want to see a comparison between my Yumi and my lore size, my VTuber size? Let me show you a very funny image. Let me show you a very funny image if I can find it. Did I save it on this PC? Probably, right? I think that's one, right? Here we go. Just wanna point out that size difference real quick. That's how tall the Yumi is comparatively. It's a very, very large thing, but that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. I really wish I could show videos of me using it, but that's not feasible due to I do not wish to break the digital immersion. So you're not actually gonna ever get any videos of me shooting, but I just know that I'm using this very well. The other thing too is that thing is wrapped right now and unstrung. If it's strung, it probably loses about a head's worth of height realistically as it bends. So the more you know about Yumis, I guess. So I'm very excited to start using it, because I actually haven't used it yet properly, because there's a couple more maintenance things I gotta do, like getting the grip correctly and getting the string correct, and then after that I can start using it. I will You mean like one of those cat ear trackers, but it's instead of manipulating cat ears, it manipulates the bow to react to my emotions? That would be kind of sick, actually. Kind of like how some anime characters have hair accessories that that adjust with their emotional state. Oh my gosh! But with the bow instead, not the Yumi, but like my hair bow. Oh, that'd be kind of crazy. You have a 6 foot tall, seems as tall as you are. Some of like weapons are like very, very large. It's very interesting to like learn about different weapons and weapon martial arts. So just so you know, like what I have is called a daikyu, or I think it's called a daikyu, right? Because there's like multiple sizes essentially. Like there's hankyus, which are much smaller, and then there's like daikyus, which are much bigger. Oh, here's a good image. Here's a good image representation of how this works. So you can see in this image here. Let's see. Let me move this around a little bit. That's approximately like where the bottom of the bow is comparative to, you know, the actual person. You can see there's a lot of it that just goes up. So when you're using this, especially when you do like lifting it up, it goes really high. Like you need a very tall space to make sure you don't hit the ceiling. There's been a couple times where we had like very tall people use their Yumis, and their Yumis are way larger because they're way taller, and it actually just they have to be very careful because they end up scraping the ceiling with it, and that's not good at all. So it's amusing, but yeah, it's like this. So I have my entire kit now. So I have my glove, my arrows, my Yumi, and all the things to like a holder, a case for everything, and it's great. I can musically inclined veterans when experimenting ways to track their instruments should be adapted to actual weapons. That would be kind of cool too. Like I have seen that, and realistically, like if I could just, I don't know how I would do it, because the thing is, I don't know, like it's one thing to do it like maybe in something like, you know, like a VR game like H3, and then just use the tracking off of the, what do you want to call them, like the hand controllers. I think that would be a feasible option, but I have no way of doing like full body tracking right now regardless. And I think the main thing with Kyudo is that a lot of it is very methodical and very ritualistic, and doing it digitally I think is not gonna have the same vibe as actually shooting a real arrow, and I think that's really the main part. Also, who's starving? Why is Infidate starving? Oh, are we out of food again? Just eat some of the, wait, just eat some of the smoked veggies. That's edible. Who's our main cook? Garm and Steve are both down and dying, so that's probably why we're not getting any food. Yeah, okay, so we gotta have Garm start cooking. The dinosaur can wait. The people need food. Kill you? No, you're not allowed to die. You have to live forever. Now I need boots and dancing pole, and I can start training to be a pole dancing weeaboo elf archer. No, I don't want to be an elf archer. I want to be a human. I very much dislike... Well, I don't dislike it, but I don't want to be... I just want to be a normal human in the sea of, like, woo-woo special anime fantasy race VTubers that are incredibly prevalent. Alright. Does that sound mean to say? I hope that's not mean to say, but it is kind of how I feel. Actually, you know what's really fun? You know what I've noticed? So, I was talking about this the other day with Ray, but I mentioned, like, why is every isekai that exists have Japan? Like I get it's supposed to be like, hey, because, you know, it's made by Japanese people, so we have to include a form of Japan in the thing. But every time I read any isekai that exists, there's always insert country that's just Japan, but fantasy. Who's dying? The opposer's dying. Of what? Got stabbed. Okay. Let's put there. No, it's not even, so it's I mostly read Japanese isekai. I'm not gonna read fan. Like, I just think it's so funny because a lot of isekai, like Japanese isekai, is like they get transported to fantasy Europe of some kind, but for some reason in the far-flung corner of the world, they will have an, like, I can tell you exactly the plot line. Ready? So you're reading an isekai series, okay? Also, hello Nixie. The run's going pretty well, all things considered. We're just trying to survive and get food for the winter. But it's always just like, okay, your protagonist, Jin Toyota gets transported to the realm of Farn Fitzgerald and goes off on a magical quest to become the hero by defeating the great demon that's been ransacking the town of Liechtenstein. And then, oh, but do you know that only, you know, a 1 week journey to the east is Japan? And oh, we're gonna have an onsen episode. And that fantasy Japan area is filled with fox girls and kimonos and soy sauce and rice, which is, it happens so frequently as a trope that it's getting ridiculous. Oh, did I die? Hello? Did the stream die temporarily? Oh shoot. Okay. Hi. If there's a delay, you might want to refresh, but I do see that I dropped like 884 frames, which is not that bad. Okay. Hello? It's kind of understand wanting to put effort into making culture doesn't evoke real life. I mean, that's true too, but I just think it's so funny. Why all of us really have England or France analog? Because they want to represent the War of the Roses at some point. Why does every alien invasion only through the US? Because USA #1 and no other country can defeat the aliens. Only the US can, because we got the weapons, baby. We got the firepower, baby. Playing Songs of Six. What's going on? Rent should not having enough leather. What's the issue with not having enough leather? Still need No Game No Life Season 2 for Werebeast Country? You're never getting No Game No Life Season 2. Listen, I have been waiting for over a decade for NGNL Season 2. We're never getting it. You know what we're getting instead? Apparently, there's a leak going around, supposedly, that we're getting a new Haruhi project. Like a new Suzumiya Haruhi TV anime project. Supposedly, what I heard is that it's going to be a reboot of Season 1. Which I don't think is going to go very well, but if they do it, I would be very interested to find out if they're going to just grab the same old VAs. Like if they grab Hirano Aya and all the other character VAs for this project again, which would be kind of crazy. I didn't say anything about a Keroro remake. Kiara comes with both her sword and shield and the ability to double fist French chicken. Isn't that a good... Wait, oh, for like the little things that her model thing comes with? It matters out raising elven children for slaughter costs only half the fruit compared to the meat and leather you get out of it. So let me understand this right. You're playing a country where you are slaughtering elven children for meat. I feel like this is the plot line to some kind of horrifying isekai series where your kingdom is going to get killed by the hero. Oh, just for leather? I don't know what Keroro is. I might need to look in that. What is Keroro? Is it some anime that I'm not aware of? Keroro. Oh, Sergeant Frog. Okay, got it. I never really read Keroro Gunso. Yeah, I didn't read this. Didn't No Game No Life straight into pretty blatantness. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they straight up kiss. Well, technically they were doing mouth-to-mouth recirculatory breathing, but let's be real. We all know why they were doing it. It was basically incest. Like, the main thing about No Game No Life is that the two main characters are codependent on each other, like, in a very unhealthy way. Where if they're separated from each other for even a small amount, like, they just cannot function at all. And some of the episodes do kind of poke fun at it as, like, a major traumatic thing, but also as they try to work through that debilitating disability. Like, it's comic, like, they play it up for laughs, but it is, like, insane like how much they're codependent on each other. We're in the far north and it's all cow pasture so much. Oh, so you have, that's how, wait, so you're getting leather from them still. I think your conquering surroundings of mission sort of 50 heavy armored knights. I still don't know how to, I haven't played Songs of Six in a while. I kind of want to play it again, not gonna lie. Aren't they haven't done the full release yet, right? They're still on like an early release. You can remember the fun instance for the high stakes gambling the whole time, like for the whole country shtick. That's also a fair point too. I loved the movie. The movie was really fun. I kind of want to watch No Game No Life again, but it's been a while. Some of the episodes, like the episodes where they were doing like the one episode where they were playing Shiritori was crazy. Like I thought that was one of the best, like that was the best episode. I was like, this is great stuff. Hello, Normar Flashbang. I saw your message earlier. I'm sorry, Normar. I meant to read what you were saying, but I hope your buttered beef is delicious. There's like a lot of things that like, sorry, chat's just moving fast enough that I have to kind of, I'm trying to read everything. No button get introduced cavalry and oh, okay. So your armored cavalry knights are just ripping through the enemy is what I'm hearing. Also, I cannot get enough lights in this colony. I just cannot get people to just go park enough, like park enough wood in all these lights, which is becoming a big issue. These guys are bad without the Orwing horny. Oh, trust me, that's kind of the point of. That's kind of like the main draw of a lot of these series. It's just a part. It's part and parcel of anime. No, we're not allowed to have electricity yet. Cavemen are not allowed to have electricity. My goal is to do this. Wait. Oh, have we unlocked? Wait a second. Oh, wait. I just realized I think we're industrial now. Oh. Yeah, no, we hit the industrial era. Yeah, so now the next goal is to make it to space. Because we researched enough technology to make it to industrial. So we can actually we can research electricity now. All right, I guess that's our next thing. Let's start industrializing a little bit. Let's get electricity. All right, what are we getting our corner store point into? Do I really have 3 flames in the throne room? Yes, it's for the vibes. It's all about the vibes. Oh my god, there's so many choices here. Master butchers, tech scavengers, culinary connoisseurs, chemists of efficiency, diligent doers, mortar, quick draw, aiming a range weapon takes 10% less time. Shooting action, oh my gosh. Dancers of the battlefield. Chance to dodge a melee attack is improved by 5%. Medical operation is 15% faster. We have a lot of wood. Hold on. No, we have a lot of wood. Yeah, no, there's a pile of wood. There is some amount of wood that is there and not at all crippling. We may need to order some wood chopping. We also haven't had any like fresh prisoners in a while, or fresh recruits in a while. There we go. What do we want? Walkers in cold showers, children of the scorching sun, creed of the stoic. Nomads of abundance. Let's see. Disciples of cleanliness. You've produced 25% less filth. Actually, you know what? You're just right. We should probably start having. Well, I don't. It feels weird to pair up viewer pawns, but I guess if we don't have a choice, I guess if we need children, I guess we don't have a choice. Okay, so you're 25. You're 71. You're definitely not having kids. Arms 42. Okay. Well, they don't naturally pair unless I force them is the main issue. Also, what is the age in Rimworld where you cannot have a child anymore? Like, when does menopause hit in Rimworld? That is a weird question to ask. I can't believe I'm Googling this up. Okay. Okay. What age do female colon what age do either gender stop being fertile? Because the main issue is that our colony is basically a lot of older individuals. Like Garm is 42, Arani's 46, Ray is off limits, and then Sun is 13, and I'm not even gonna get anywhere near that topic. Tapers to 0 at 90. Okay, so so we have males that are okay, but we don't have females that are usable, other than maybe Garm, maybe Arani. Dropping to 50% at 35. Oh, okay. I guess we probably should just start raiding other factions. That's probably the better option. Yeah. Where's the trade caravan? They haven't shown up in a while, which is also kind of annoying. There is a working site there with 4 people. What are the other quests we have? Maybe the quest will have something. Let's do this one. Eliminate enemies and turrets. There's a bandit camp guarded by 3 outlanders. We got a bunch of glitter world medicine. I figured that, I mean, that makes sense. Like, that makes sense. 4 colonists, ancient terminal, surrounded by tribal village, worship it. Attack. Okay, so 10 hours. That might also be what we have to do. Okay, so the other thing we gotta do is I want to make sure we have better armor. But I guess what we have is fine for now as we try to transition to the more medieval era. Can't really work with anything else that we have, I think. No, we generally don't play colonies generationally. Like, this is a little bit more of a... Like, if I really wanted to make this a generational colony, I would up aging by 8x. Like, 8x aging is what I would have done. But for this one, I was like, alright, let's try something a little different. Also, because I didn't have a mod that allows me to set aging to 8x, which would have been, I think, a more appropriate option. We also did lose a lot of very valuable colonists that were probably capable of at least having children, which is kind of the biggest issue. Ixonia was 22, Sun was 33. Let's see here. Yeah, Arania was 24. Yeah, Mortal was 28. 31. Forgot we had a child die on us too. Whoopsies. They don't naturally form for whatever reason. I usually have to like just say order them to romance each other. That's usually the correct solution. Okay, let's pick one of these before I forget. What cornerstone do I want? Injuries are healed 10%. Oh, followers of the healing waters. Immunity to diseases is gained 10% faster. You know, considering how often we kept getting slaughtered by diseases, that's actually kind of tempting. Yeah, we're gonna do that one. We're gonna do, after dealing with all the diseases over the many, many moons, we are now stronger than ever against diseases as we follow the healing waters. Okay. Nice. I don't know, like, oftentimes I don't see couples naturally forming whenever I play, but maybe that's just a me thing. It's very strange. Let's refuel here, buddy. Let's get more wood out. We probably also want to start killing things. Also, I was gonna make alcohol here. If I had spare granite, which I think I do, just never got around to building it. Anyways, that's fine. I wanted to make a place where I can make alcohol, but it might be a little difficult, depending on how the game wants us to suffer. Do we have dedicated recreation time? No. Are we supposed to have dedicated recreation time? I never do. I just kind of let them do whatever they want. Should I be mandatory recreation? Like this? Ah. Alright, well, let's include some mandatory socialization. Like, right around there. Like, between the hours of... What is that? 8 and 9? Or 8 and 9, they can vibe. That's also true. Why would they repair when they're always in a hospital bed? You're not wrong, and I hate to say that, but you're right. I always forget to do that type of thing. I've always just kind of left. Listen, you know what's funny? How many hours do I have playing this game? Let's find out. I have, as of right now, let's see. 1,479 hours playing this game, and I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. And we're being attacked. Ooh, okay, good. There's still tribesmen. Good, because they're still savages. We can still kill them. Let's get everyone who's got a weapon and ready to fight. Yeah, let's get all these guys over. Maybe Ray stays behind. I prefer to have at least one doctor not die. There we go. You're gonna say you might be making upon transhumanist playthroughs they tend to be a zone. Oh, fair enough. I guess that's also true. Yeah, I'm kind of a grab whatever flows my way type of player, as you may have noticed. What's the saying? We just go with vibes. We're rim vibing. That's the word. We're rim vibing. That's not a word, is it? Someone's gonna come up and be like, stop saying those words. Oh, I didn't get Sun over here. Let's get Sun over here. There we go. Oh, that is a very... Wait, is this basically a shotgun? Oh, shoot. Maybe we gotta intercept this. Okay, Garm is getting deleted. We probably should protect Garm. You need to pull back. Okay. That's good. This is a very powerful... Oh, you know, maybe we can capture one of these friends, and maybe they will be willing to join us on our magical adventures. Maybe that's what we gotta do. Okay. Perfect. You need to stay there, and then let's see if one of these guys wants to be friends. Okay, you're fine. Let's get Infidave out of here, and then let's get Arani out of here. And then let's... Oh, I got rid of the prison, didn't I? Alright, this is the new prison. And then let's also put down... Perfect, just like that. Okay. Please don't say that. Fair enough, I will not say that. Alright, so we can capture... Oh, he's unwaveringly loyal. Alright. Finish him off. Undraft you. Okay, I think we should be fine. That's fine. What was weird? People will now be socializing together. They should get chances to form couples. Alright, I will... Well, we'll let it run and see what happens. I don't think I can capture anyone. Like, I didn't find anyone that was... they're all dead. So I guess we're not capturing any prisoners today. I'm not touching that. I already know what's in that. Where is Ray? I need my doctor. Wakey, wakey. It's time to do doctor things. Arani's got 7 hours. You need to get into a bed too. Let's have Ray tend to you. Perfect. Just let that pan out. Garm should be arriving soon. And then Sky Peon, who is now having a mental breakdown. Alright, great. And that's fine. The arm that came with Kiara wasn't set correctly to hold her in the center of a stand, yet unscrewed and rotate one of those segments. Oh, that's weird. Did they give the Myth Nendos a custom base? Because they did for Matsuri. I know she has like a custom base, because I know Ray bought me the Nendroid and it's on my shelf and it's very pretty to look at. Actually, that just reminded me. I saw earlier that I think Mori or Kiara was going to do a Magic the Gathering stream, and I'm like, my time has come. It's time for me to backseat game Magic the Gathering. I would never do that. I do love the... I find it amusing, though, that they're getting into trading card games, and they're shilling Magic and not their own trading card game. Hollow... whatever it's called. I actually don't remember what it's called. But I think they probably should try to shilling it at some point. I thought about wanting to get into the Hololive card game, but I ultimately just chose not to, partly because I couldn't find, like, it was just out of sale all the time, so I was like, I didn't bother. I have no particular reason why I haven't streamed Song of Six in a while. I think it's one of those things, like, it's like a very specific type of game. When I streamed it last time, I did kind of turn it into a bit of a, let's just name these nobles after different people, but I think I ran into the issue of I didn't know how to do the military stuff very well. And so I was also focused way too much on the aesthetics of the city rather than making a very good city that was efficient, and that was my own fault, obviously, because I'm a little too aesthetic pilled. I love making sure my cities are always pretty and beautiful to look at. Like, look at this colony. Like, there's a reason why in Rimworld I never do mega bases. I love doing these designs instead. Also, you need to get into a bed. And then Ray is gonna stand here and tend to you now. I think everyone... Okay, so Garm still needs to be tended to, which is fine. People are walking around, so if Arani's tended, we can get Garm tended. Yeah, but the thing is, I tend to go for aesthetics super early in the run rather than going for it like later on in the run, and that's kind of the biggest issue. Because again, it's just kind of my obsession with making sure everything looks pretty, even if it's not necessary. There's most efficient assuming you're in between space for decor. Is it? I don't know. Like I said, people love doing mega bases though because it's easier to defend. And then I always gravitate towards the town concept, which I find to be more enjoyable. Also, we're gonna set up a little bit of a beer production facility. I was gonna make a temple, but maybe we do the temple somewhere else. Maybe this area here is actually the grand temple. Maybe that's the correct thing to do. This is gonna be the temple room. We can put a double door here for now, but let's see. Let's quickly slam this out. Shouldn't be that difficult. Oh, a double door. Perfect. And then I will just do all the other stuff in a second. You personally found beginners make the mistake of building mega rooms and rather than make a granular city. Well, that's because if efficiency-wise, having a giant castle type thing, I guess, does make sense. Like, I get why they do it, but I also understand why that's not efficient. Fermenting barrels, finally, we can produce booze. All right, we're gonna make a lot of booze here. Okay, so maybe not there. So what I think I can do is we can put 2 breweries like that next to each other, and then we can put barrels of the alcohol like this. I'll figure out what to do on the other side. Maybe I could just put this into 2 separate rooms, but it's fine. Ah, Arani's having mental break. Great. Better have time than a central one simply due to commute times. I understand that's also the main point too. I definitely fall into the issue of putting people into, like, consolidating all the residences into one area and not spreading them out. If you notice when I played Whiskerwood, I had the same exact thing where I kind of consolidate housing into small, very tight areas rather than letting them spread out naturally, because it would make sense that, you know, a blacksmith would probably live near his home rather than living in the in the commie block slums on the other side of town. So I get it. I definitely am one of those people that kind of fall into this trap far more often than I could admit. After the booze, we can research dental care after us. And yeah, we can research. Well, we're researching electricity, so we can tend to our, electrical needs. Arani's gonna keep smacking this thing, doesn't this thing destroyed. Is there any way to stop Arani from destroying this, or is that just gonna happen? Let's see if we can stop Arani from destroying my very expensive castle door. Let's find out. Nope. All right. Failed. All right. I guess this is destroyed. We'll just have to rebuild it. I'm more annoyed because that was 200 granite blocks, and I don't know if I have 200. I guess I have 200. Okay, that's fine. We gotta rebuild this thing now. The true secret is oversized food production, follow everything else. Everybody, I'm taking it for a very short year. Same Terran Victor run. It's the alien orbital shipyards have almost destroyed 4 or 5 lists, destroyed a lot of mines. You still have to invade Neptune and finally make a huge fleet to fight aliens around Jupiter. These are definitely, that's definitely a scenario that's absurd and crazy, and the fact that it's even happening. Are you going to defeat the aliens? How long has your run been? Isn't your run like over 10 years now? Oh, I saw some news that Terran Victor's like going out of early access now. I only know this because a Hooded Horse was making like a big deal about it on the Hooded Horse Discord, saying, hey, we're coming out of early access soon. Oh, wait, we will exit early access on January 5, 2026. Oh, they have a hard date. I am probably not going to stream that game. I've seen it. It looks fine. It looks enjoyable, but I'm not streaming that. I'm so sorry. Some games I think are just not meant to be streamed, and I think Terra Invicta is one of those games that you play on your own personal time, and you don't make other people watch that game because that game is going to take an eternity to get through. Your 2068, yeah. See, I think that would be longer than the XCOM runs. And for that reason alone, I cannot in good conscience play it. I know it's a little tragic if you wanted to see it, but it would, I think, drive some people bananas if we had to sit through 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Well, what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, what am I crazy? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. Because I see. I'm like trying to get this like even, and I'm like, am I going crazy? So would that be... I guess that's even down the center. Okay, well, we just need a single door here. Okay, and then I can do a lectern. Followed by... Okay, I don't have a lot. Alright, we have to use the Neil sheets. I don't want to use the Neil sheets. What do I have? Oh, I'll make them a dinosaur leather. That's fine. Harken back to our caveman roots. 46.5 years when none of your counselors died at old age. Oh, so it's wait, is it turn-based? I thought Terra Invicta was a real-time game this entire time. Like, legitimately, I thought it was a real-time strategy game that you kind of paused and moved forward, kind of like literally every Paradox game. Huh. Interesting. Said I'm probably not playing it anytime myself, but if I wanted to play a game about fighting space aliens, I would just play Stellaris. I like Stellaris, but boy, I'm fine not touch Stellaris in forever. That game... Oh... I don't own the DLC for Stellaris, which is why I've not touched it in so long. You said agent turns that play the... Oh, okay. I see. Actually, here's a real question. If I had to play if I had to play any Paradox game on stream, which one would you comrades prefer? Hoi 4, Stellaris, CK3, EU5, which I've never played EU. What's the other one? There's like one other one I'm forgetting. Vic 3 was the other one. I'm not playing Vic 2. No, we only play the latest in the lineup. We will never play the older ones. I'm basically getting like 3 different answers. I got Hoi, Vic, and Stellaris. The thing with Stellaris too is like I said, the only reason I haven't bought it is like I'm so behind on DLC, and I would love to buy more, but it's just rough. That's a lot of words here. Remember, y'all, you aren't everyone's type of liquid, so don't force yourself to be around tea. If you're a whiskey, you deserve to be around people who appreciate your flavor. Interesting line there, Tiny Hero. Thanks for the bits. Don't worry, we're always... The people here are people who enjoy listening to me and appreciate my flavor. That is a very weird thing to say, but considering how much I sit in soup, I guess that makes sense. But how are you? Thanks for swinging back, comrade. How are you doing? We already know who's voting for victory, yes. I can feel it in me bones. Also, I completely forgot to look at the YouTube chat. I'm so sorry. Okay, never mind. No one's saying anything there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I played Vic 3 the other day. I managed to create the Empire of Heaven or whatever it's called, and it's been pretty cool. Steve is having hallucinations due to being malnourished because there's not enough food because no one's cooking food. Who's the colony cook? It's Steve, but Steve's having mental breakdown. Garm, it's time for Garm to cook. Alright, Garm, it's time to cook food. You know what? I think it's because I set this to 10. Let's make this set to 30. 30 should be more than enough. Alright, let's take a look at this. What is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so, the Ray Nendroid that... Not the Ray Nendroid, the Matsuri Nendroid that Ray bought me has a similar base, but it's like yellow and it says Natsuhiro Matsuri on it. So I guess they kind of did the same exact thing for all of them, and it's great. Botanicas are way too big. I do like how their little mascots have their own stand. Why does the Chumbud have its own bubble? That's even better. I would love... A Ray Nendroid would be great. We already have, like, the Oak figure. We need the Ray figure. That's what we need. But Ray, I think, hasn't... So the thing... I don't know if Ray's mentioned this, or if she's okay with me telling this, but she does say she wants to get, like, one, probably more redesign, and, like, commission a proper reference sheet and have, like, all the rights to it. I think her current design, she kind of commissioned someone off of Skeb, but she wants one where she owns everything about it. That's Bloop? Oh. Whoops. I forgot the Chumbuds are more like shrimps, right? Saying whiskey reminds me of the VTuber, but you guys say you get go outside and meet women. Issues, you're too old. It's not like late 30 guys are in demand. Listen. Anyone can be in demand, but here's the thing. I'm probably the worst person to talk about this, but if you want to go out there and meet someone, you gotta, like, literally go out there and, like, interact in communities in order to find someone. I think if you just sit around and hope something's gonna happen, it's very unlikely it's gonna happen. You gotta do some like initiative. Just because you're in your late 30s doesn't mean it's all over for you. It just means you have to maybe just do a different tactic to, you know, find that special someone. Right? Something like that. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Chumput is behind. Let me see. Yeah, okay, just a shrimp. Yeah. Late 30s, guys are seem to demand in certain areas. You can take a few gay bars. Oh, you know what? The other option is don't just be a guy in your late 30s. Be a rich guy in your late 30s. Congratulations. Then you win. If you got money, then all your problems are solved. Just get a lot of money. I don't know. Just tell someone you own. I don't know. Tell someone you own like 5 Bitcoin, and then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so hot. Can you tell me your private key?" I love it when guys tell me their private key or something. I don't know how it works. Something like that. What's your wallet address? You know, you're still the only full set of Halloween androids since Promise was never reached full production. I know. Well, I know that you never like Sana left super early, and then Mume obviously left before hers was finalized and went into production, and they fully graduated rather than letting it be a what's it called, an association type thing. And it's very tragic. Mooms. At least she's happy in her current life, and I think that's all we can ask for. I think it's great that she's at least found some form of peace in these trying times. You know what? I think I do want to go fight for that Glitter World medicine. Yeah, we're gonna go fight for that Glitter World medicine. It's not that. Oh, that's really cool. Wait, where is it? Wait. Huh? Wait, am I crazy? Jump to bandit camp. But it's just targeting us. Where's the bandit camp? Oh, it's over there. Okay, I don't know why it kept, like, hopping towards us and not to the actual bandit camp. Alright, let's go figure out how we're gonna saunter our way over there. So we're gonna go here. 1.8 days. We'll send in the big steg. We'll send in... Let's see, we'll send in Zeoposer. Is Zeoposer fully healthy? Yes, we'll send Zeoposer. Sky Peon and... Oh, I think Arani's hurt, right? Okay, so don't send Arani. Send Garm. Hopefully we can capture someone. I don't want to send Ray because then that's all my doctors, and I'd like to leave at least one doctor behind. I think we send Sun in. Yeah, send Sun. And then... take all the simple meals, take the hay, and then take about 300 smoked veggies. I mean, that's food, right? It's edible. Don't take the fancy medicine, take the herbal medicine is fine. I think that's okay. Alright, go. Okay. Let me read all the other stuff. Sorry, I kind of was like stuck reading the game stuff. Sit around hometown areas. I mean, enter. Let's go. It's midnight. Emergency vehicles aren't keeping up. Come on, it's a Monday. Listen, people. Monday is a very good. It's apparently a day where people are just gonna get into accidents, and you can't do much about it because people are idiots. Did you see the Stellaris 4.3 patch has huge economy nerfs across the board? Wait, what do you mean? How bad of an economy nerf are we talking about? Like Warhammer? Only women we see dabbling Warhammer are VTubers mostly. Not sure if they only like advertise the male watching viewers, they really like it. Sonnet. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing. God, I don't know how to describe this, but like for like Warhammer, Magic, and stuff like that are generally male-dominated hobbies, right? I mean, for one, like, sure, they might be trying to appeal to their male audience. They could also just like the thing. Like, that's also a possible option. And the only reason you're primarily seeing VTubers is because VTubers are going to be, you know, wanting to talk about their hobbies a lot, regardless of, you know, regardless of gender. That's just kind of how it is. The reality is that a lot of women in those hobbies tend to stick to their closed friend groups, essentially, or their smaller friend groups, rather than interacting at a store, because let's just say there are a lot of strange folks at these stores and places of gathering for games. I have seen it at my own LGS, where I've seen some very odd folk. They're not doing anything that's outright against the rules, but it's just one of those things that's like, this person is very like, why do we keep him here type of individual, right? In your hometown there's nowhere to gather. That's unfortunate. You gotta make your own place to gather. Go open up a cafe, open up like a, I don't know, open up a restaurant. There you go. Now people will gather at your restaurant cafe. Sell, I don't know, sell palabok. There you go. They're killing all non-linear modifiers. Wait, so it's all linear now? It's not just, there's no more exponential percentage-based growth shenanigans? But why? I like my funny percentage-based growth modifiers on a planet-wide basis. Restaurants don't exist there? Oh, okay, so you literally only have, like, the Inasal cart or whatever you want to call it. Oh, let's have Ray trade with them. I think they might have something. Let's see. I will sell all... I probably shouldn't have all those Stegosauruses. We're gonna sell off a bunch of these. Sell off all the... We'll keep one breeding pair of Stegosauruses. And then... we can probably sell off all the garbage weapons that we don't need anymore. I don't know when I got a steel claymore. I must have made it somehow. Oh my god, that eye I ripped out. I should have been ripping eyes out of all the prisoners. That would have been a really good idea. Don't need that. I just take their money. I guess we buy the Earl meds. That's probably fine. That's fine. And then... where's... it said I have a claymore. Where's the claymore? Well, there really is just a claymore sitting around. Alright, I guess Rare Pickle gets a claymore now. Someone needs it. Must have been from a body we ripped apart. Skill issues against stores filled with hot people and parents, oddly enough. I mean, hey, that's just how it is. Endgame completely tools. Oh, okay, so they're trying to make the endgame crises like actually more scary by essentially nerfing your economy so they don't have to pump up the numbers. I guess that's fine. Lower numbers instead of having to pump up the enemy numbers. I guess that makes sense. That's fine. I think that's a reasonable adjustment. Here, mostly in competitions, women don't play Warhammer, and the more women you play, it's usually only play with their boyfriend, husband, and son. I think I get bored, leave. Not always the case. What happens? I mean, I'm not gonna get into that whole thing, but the gist of it is that a lot of people are gonna go to a hobby if they're gonna get into it. They're gonna be playing with people that they're comfortable with first, and then slowly, you know, maybe open up to playing with randoms. But unless they're in a tournament, most of, like, even when I go to my local game store, a lot of times I'm not going to be playing with random people. I play with people that I'm generally familiar with, right? Because at least I know what to expect for the most part, and I'm not going to get with a... I was about to use some very colorful language that I don't think is very internet appropriate nowadays, but there's a lot of folks that I've interacted with at the local game stores, even at my own local game store, where I'm like, I do not wish to play with this person anymore because they are very handsy touchy with other people's property. And when I'm playing it, and I had to be very careful with what decks I'm playing with that guy because I have some very expensive cards in my deck that I don't want them to get ruined. Warhammer interest solely remains fanfics and digital attempts making an army because Games Workshop anyways. I haven't bought any Warhammer stuff just because it's too expensive, honestly. Sticky fingers, not even sticky fingers. Okay, so you know what? Here, I have an idea. Here's how I'm going to explain this. Here's how I'm going to explain this. So, imagine the following scenario, okay? You're playing Magic the Gathering, okay? here's, you know what a card looks like. You all know what a card looks like. Where's the where's a really thick brush? Okay. Okay. So you're playing Magic the Gathering. Here's your card. It's on the table, right? If you're pointing at your own card, how do you point at it? Let me tell you. Normal people are going to point at their card something like this, right? They're going to be like, oh, it's that one. You know, it's like, it's that card here. Okay? Now, pay attention to that nail. You want to know how this goober touched other people's cards? Okay, so he would go like this. Okay? And the nail would press into the card. It was so painful seeing this happen. And it wasn't just his cards. He would do this to everyone's cards. Like, if he's reaching across, like, if he wants to point at a card, he's not just, like, tapping it. He's, like, tapping it with his nail. And it's just like, dude, stop. I don't want you to stab my card. Like, I don't care if it's not worth that much. I would like my cards and sleeves to not have the indentation of your fingernail. Thank you very much. And so it drove me absolutely bananas. I drove a lot of people crazy because it was like, this dude would just not stop. So a lot of us basically stopped playing with him. I think at some point he had some crazy crash out and just stopped coming to the store. I think he actually got banned because I think he, like, I don't remember the specifics, but if I recall, so what someone had told me is that he basically just, like, threw his cards, like, all over the table. I think, like, he lost some game of EDH and he got super, he had, like, some crazy crash out or something and threw his cards around and I guess just stormed out of the store without picking it up, and someone else picked up his, you know, packed up his deck for him, gave it to the store to hold on to, and I think he eventually came back for it, but he was banned forever and I've not seen the guy in over a year. But he left like a 1-star review at the shop, and then his mom left a 1-star review on the shop. And I'm just like, dude, this ain't helping your case. You run into people like this a lot in public spaces who, okay, here's the thing. I know I like to joke about this, but I like to think that I am a generally well-adjusted social individual. Like, I may not want to interact with people that often or new people that often, but at the very least, if you put me in a social situation where I'm not familiar with things, at least I can generally navigate my way through it. And I like to think that's because my parents raised me to be a wonderful, sociable individual who knows how to talk to people. But then, you have a lot of these you have a lot of these loner types who just never had to deal with socializing in any capacity, and now when it's time for them to socialize, they don't know what to do, and it's all downhill from there. And that's kind of the big issue. Like a lot of people just don't know how to deal with social situations like this, and then they end up being, what's the word? Like they're kind of, what's the, spurgy? I think that's the word people use sometimes. I don't like using that necessarily because it might be an insult to some people, but a lot of times it is kind of like that, or that's the stereotype, and it's very annoying to behold. Being an extrovert to where like those changes so long stuff. I would never be able to do that. I hate that. Listen, I'm not that much of an extrovert. I'm actually very introverted, but I know how to be extroverted at times. It's kind of like a skill you need to just survive. I know Ray does the same exact thing too. Wish you luck for tomorrow. You're gonna rest for a while. Brian is a fried egg. I don't know what that means, but I hope you have a good rest, Kahila. Good luck for whatever you got tomorrow. Stop going to MTG events because of the people. Oh, trust me, I don't blame you at all. Like, there's like at my a lot of MTG stores have like that certain variety of people. Like, I know at my store we have some people with very strong personalities, I guess is the best way to describe it, and then we have people who are just like, they don't know how to talk to people, right? I like to play with the people that are at least somewhat socially well adjusted. Oh, your brain is fried, not your Brian. Okay, well, I hope your brain gets some well-needed rest, because I was really confused when you said your Brian was fried, because I'm like, who's Brian and why is he fried? Like, I don't know what this means. Also, holy cow, we have a lot of courses I need to rip through. You have tism, so you just want people to bear with you. I mean, you can have the tism and people will just bear with you. I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think most of us here are probably mildly have the tism, probably. Something rhythm with the tism. But at the same time, you can't use that as an excuse to not have social skill, like normal social graces. And I think a lot of times in gaming spaces, especially Magic the Gathering and Warhammer, a lot of people just don't have that ability to, well, socialize, and it becomes a huge issue in these like at the store. And I see it all the time, and it's just so stupid. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but oh my god, there's just so many people who there's just so many people who don't understand the idea that when in public, please behave like a normal person. Like, I know normal is a subjective term, but even if you're playing a game of Magic the Gathering, it's not the place to be crashing out and like freaking out because you lost. There's a guy I remember watching on YouTube who makes like these funny skits like literally about the same exact topic, and his name's like Wizard in a T-shirt or something. Yeah, like the thing is, like, they just don't have that social skill to not be a dick. You're like here we go. I found it. Like this guy right here.
Hey man, I think you're my next opponent.
Why don't you sit down and shuffle up, if you dare to?
Like, I know this is like a parody, but I think there are actually people like this.
Yeah, I've been playing for a couple of years. You know,
Or it's like the dude with the like. There's like stereotypes exist for a reason.
Oh, I've been stomping on plebs like you all day. And I'm not about to break this winning streak.
Jesus fucking Christ, what did you eat, man?
See, I'm playing my Demir mid-range counterspell combo deck, and everybody that's come across me today has learned to know my name.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna watch that whole thing, but it's stuff like that, and I've definitely encountered this at my own stores myself, and they really do exist. The funny thing is, I was friends with a guy who was kind of like this for a while, until I was no longer friends with him, which was probably the correct thing to do. But like I said, sometimes you just can't avoid. Oh geez, Arani's starving. Arani, you need to eat something. Let's have you eat something, buddy. So, anyways, if you ever go to sort of play Magic the Gathering, please, for the love of God, just be a normal person, or not even just like Magic, but just any social game type thing where you will be talking to people on a regular basis. You just need to have normal social skills, and everything will be fine and dandy. It's just a miracle how often that's not the case, right? Actually, I will say one thing, and I mentioned this before, one thing that I think did help me a lot become at least somewhat a well-adjusted individual. Play D&D. Play a tabletop RPG with people that are normal, or at least generally normal, and I think you'll be able to pick up at least on how to act like a normal person for the most part, because one, you have to understand that it's a game, and you'll have to learn how to separate fiction from reality, which maybe some people can't do that very well. I think D&D also, like I've mentioned before, has helped me a lot with being able to talk in a public situation and constantly talking like crazy. Like, I think if I didn't play D&D when I was in college, I would not be a streamer today, because I would just be so embarrassed and not know how to talk. And nowadays, I'm just like, I don't shut up for 4 hours straight, 4 days a week. Can you imagine? Oh, geez, I forgot we had this fight. We gotta go deal with this engagement. I don't know why they haven't eaten their potatoes. Or their veggies. Can we eat the veggies real quick? Come on. Yeah, you eat that, and then I need... Who else has the veggies? Okay, you need to drop that stack here. We're gonna have you eat that, and then we're gonna have you eat the other stack. And then we'll have Garm grab and eat the other stack here. There we go. Oh, they didn't have a chance to rest. Okay, so they're exhausted. Got it. Well, we gotta still attack regardless. Oh, jeez, it's in the corner. They don't have any turrets. Cool. Alright, we can just sneak up there. That's fine. Hello, Ray. Good morning. We had a lady in our D&D group that was... Hold on, let me read this. Hold on, so true, so true. I have DM, and like I said, I used to DM. Ray was in that campaign, or one of the campaigns I did. We had a lady in our D&D group who was constantly questioning the GM on the rules, and in one encounter, the character died due to her own incompetence. Just she, according to players, blamed the other player for letting her get killed and call her group toxic. Haven't seen her. I think that's the type of person that I think doesn't understand social grace. People die in D&D, like characters die in D&D a lot. In my current campaign that I'm participating in, I have died twice. I'm on my third character. Like it's part of the storytelling, and you just have to roll with the punches. Okay, like it's just a thing that happens. You just roll with it and just carry on with life. If you let it consume you, then I mean, I get it too. Like I understand why people get like super frustrated or sad when their characters die, because their characters are essentially an extension of themselves, right? Like people, when you make a character, you're not just, a lot of times people are putting themselves into the character, right? And I get that. And for a lot of people, it might be they're self-inserting as part of a power fantasy in a way. But at the same time, again, they have to remember it's all fantasy, it's all make-believe, and you know, you can't let that ruin you know what I'm saying? Oh, I just realized there is a turret here. Execute one of your friend's characters for treason. You had to laugh and roll a new one. The first time back I run, found an ancient war forge, and then the ancient war forge is on your character, right? You're dying. You need a self-tend. These guys have meds. No. You have simple meals, and you have... Oh, they have guns. Revolver. Knights with revolvers? I don't know if I'm gonna get around that turret. That's gonna be the real problem. Wait, is that thing even powered? Oh, shoot. How do I destroy this? Okay, there we go. Now the thing has no more power. Easy. We just gotta break through these walls real fast. Shouldn't be that difficult. Okay. This character was Sir Bun Bun. Oh god. I forgot I gave Sir Bun Bun that. Ray in our campaign, Ray had a giant rabbit because she wanted a rabbit companion as a druid, and I didn't know what to do, so I just added it as a bear animal companion. And I think at some point I gave it an item that allowed it to speak in single word sentences in a really deep, ominous voice. Oh, I can just claim these? Oh yeah, you're right, I can just claim these. Whoopsies. Yeah, so now, unfortunately, in my homebrew world, there's a colony of giant rabbits that are running around, which I guess it would have been a thing regardless. Anyways, is this for real life? What do you mean? Just fancy. Okay, you know, toxic players generally, there's unwritten rule that if you're really unfun to play with, then we'll end up playing against you. That's not even an unsung. That's not even an unwritten rule. That's just a rule. Like, in normal social situations, if you are going to be a dick, you should not be surprised when your pool of potential opponents drops significantly unless you are in a forced matchmaking situation, like in a competition. In literally any other situation, I think most people would just be like, I don't want to play with you, bye. And I think that's how it just is. Like, that's fine. Also, what was my quest? Oh, I think I completed it, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, we finished it. We could grab the loot here, but I don't really care for most of this loot, so I guess we just bail. Let's at least strip them of their stuff so we can take their gear. We can always do something with it later, so let's strip. And strip you. And is this the other one? Was there someone else here? Who's the other? Did he go? Disappear? Alright, I guess we just... There's no prisoners, they're all dead. No, there's no prisoners, they're all dead. Alright, reform the caravan. Take all 4 of them back. Let's see what we're taking with us. Take the weapons. Take the travel supplies. And that's it. Okay, and then, I don't know, we'll have Garm ride the dinosaur. I'm gonna go back home. 1.5 days is fine. Okay. I think bad players get filtered because no one wants to play with them. I don't think bad play. Okay, so it depends. Bad players are generally not going to get filtered in that way. Bad players are going to self-filter out. I think a lot of times out of the game, out of games that they play, because as much fun as we say, it's easy as to say like, oh, it's not about winning, it's about having a good time playing with people. People want to win, okay? You gotta give them a win or two to get them to keep playing. It's like a reward system. You give them that endorphin for winning the game. If you don't give them that smidge, like even that victory, they're not gonna want to come back and play. That happens a lot. I think that's why I think a lot of people, the board gaming scene has moved away from like there's still a lot of competitive board games out there, but a lot of the board gaming scene has moved towards cooperative games nowadays, because it's easier to sell people on a board game where it's one where you all win or lose together, rather than one where only one person wins and everyone else loses. It really depends on your own individual board gaming group which one is going to work best for you. And like I said, I'm sure most of this doesn't really matter for most people, because most people here probably don't have regular groups that they can play board games with like I do. But if you do happen to find one, hold on to that board gaming group as tight as you can, because once it goes away, you're good luck finding another one, because that means you're gonna have to go out and make new friends, especially finding friends that are into the same board games that you're into. You do not understand how difficult that is. It is hard. So listen to me when I say, if you get a board gaming group together that plays things that you all like, that you like to play, hold on to dear life, okay? Hold on to dear life. One of my favorite games that we end up playing a lot is Spirit Island, and that's basically a cooperative game. A lot of games, again, are like now cooperative. Even Magic the Gathering's trying to get into cooperative board gaming now, too. That needs few human players. I have not, and I've never played Borrow Trauma. You have to remember that. A lot of the games I play, very specific titles. I like playing war-themed games and cooperative games, but it's very hard to get people to want to sit down for the more complex war games. Like, I like Scythe. And I'm glad my board gaming group likes to play Scythe. I don't think I could get them to play Root. I love Root. But I would like, I look up the Root board game. It's so cute. I love it. It's basically, what if you had cute little animal critters, except they were all trying to kill each other. Like, you have monarchist cats fighting against, or no, monarchist birds fighting against ultra-capitalist cats, fighting against a woodland critter communist uprising, all while a fourth player plays as a little arms dealer selling weapons to all sides. See, Ray likes Root, and she has the copy. Or did she give me? Did you give me Root, or is it? Oh, okay, you gave me Root. That's right. So, Axis and Allies, I don't think I can get my friends to play. I wanted to get the Hearts of Iron 4 board game, and I was going to back it, but I realized I probably could not get my friends to play. I don't think I could have gotten my friends to play the Hoi 4 board game as much as I would have loved it. Because I was like, they are not going to be able to sit down and play this. Like, the only thing I can get them to sit down and play are short, easier games to play, like, what's the bloody thing called? Betrayal at House on the Hill? Or cooperative things like Sentinels of the Multiverse, Spirit Island, things like that. But yeah, I would love to play Axis and Allies. One of my dreams for board gamings is playing Axis and Allies with the full board. Okay, so if you don't know, there's multiple versions of Axis and Allies, right? I think there's like the 1942, 1941, and 1940. However, 1940 is unique, I think, if I recall correctly, where there's actually two versions of it. There's the Eastern version and the Western version, and I don't mean East and West as in like there's an Asian version. Actually, technically, yes. The idea is that there is a... Was that how that worked again? I'm trying to remember exactly how it operated. But you can combine both boards to make a super board, because one focused on Europe and I think the other one focused on the Asia front. And then so you can combine both boards to make a super board and play essentially super World War II. Here, I found it. Okay, so let's see if I can find an image of it. 1940 Eastern, or yeah, it's like Europe board. Okay, I can't find a here. I'm trying to find a good image of it so you can understand. Axis and Allies, 1940 Europe. Okay. So, looking at it real quick. Wrong image. Yeah, so we can see, like, okay, there's a Europe map here, right, where it has, okay, the East Coast, Europe, and then, you know, the Soviet Union and everything in between, and also Africa and South America too. But if you combine, you can, but then there's also an Asia, I think they call it Pacific, which takes place, you know, there's a huge focus on things like Australia, you got a little bit of California there, Hawaii, China, Philippines, Japan. But you can combine both boards into a super board like this. Oh shoot, it's not showing up correctly on the half-size vertical version. Here you go. And you can play a super game with the entire world, with all the factions. One of my dreams is to be able to get a group to play this, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get a group to play this. Like, I love stupid complex board games a lot. One of my favorites also that I think I've talked about once or twice before is Terraforming Mars. Ray hates Terraforming Mars after the one time we played it, but Terraforming Mars with all the expansions has a fairly complex board state. The idea is that you're essentially, you know, you're terraforming Mars, but the DLC or the expansions adds things like terraforming Venus and colonies and lots of other things that make the game more complex. Right? Let me show you what that looks like. So a full version of Terraforming Mars with all expansions is gonna look something like this in a solo game, where you have things like you have Mars, you have the Council of Factions, you have Venus, you have colonies, and you have like the politicking. But someone made a fan version of this called Terraforming Mars Epic, I think is what it was called. And I just want to see if I can find an image of it. Yeah, here's the board, by the way, for that. So that's Mars, that's the moon, that's Venus. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in here that I have no idea what they do off the top of my head, but the game becomes basically impossible to play unless you're playing on Tabletop Simulator. The amount of resources that you have to manage go from like 6 to 12. But I find this type of thing very enjoyable. But I remember looking it up and the author said, like, yeah, this thing will probably take you like 12 hours to play. And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be... I'm not gonna be able to get people to play that. The Captain is Dead? Let me look this up. The Captain is Dead is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players. Oh, I've seen this. Okay, yeah, I've seen this game. Which looks pretty interesting. Because I know it's also like a very short... okay, so it's like 60 to 90 minutes. Aliens attacking your ship. Escape. Yeah. I have seen, it does look pretty interesting. I do know there's a lot more digital versions of board games coming out nowadays, because that's kind of like the hot thing. Also, our, that's not going to be on fire that much longer. Also, our builders have just not been able to build. Huh. I'm trying to think like what other board games I can come up off the top of my head that are just like really good, but... yeah, honestly, like, I kind of play a lot of the same stuff like all the time. Like I said, Spirit Island, Sentinels of the Multiverse. And I play a lot of Seven Wonders on Board Game Arena. I actually used to play like ranked Seven Wonders. I'm not very good at it, but I had a lot of fun doing that too. But I also, you know, the thing is, I will say one unfortunate thing about the board gaming industry is that board gaming as a hobby is, one, not only very expensive, but also two, incredibly centered around crowdfunding. So we all know Darkest Dungeon, and we played Darkest Dungeon on stream. Did you know there was a Darkest Dungeon board game? Did you know that board game was crowdfunded? Did you know that the company demanded extra money from the people who backed the game in order for them to actually ship you the product that you had backed? And that company just went bankrupt? That company just declared bankruptcy and is now in liquidation. And it's so tragic. Like they were demanding like an extra $40 if you wanted your product. And then they did it again like twice. So the company went bankrupt because the way it worked was essentially like they were taking money from one like they would take money from the latest project that they had just kickstarted, right? And then they would use that to pay for the previous project that they had yet to fulfill. It was almost like a Ponzi scheme. Take the money from the new people to pay the old people. Yeah. No, not Red Hook, but it was, what was the name? Like Mythic Games or something? What was the name of it? Darkest Dungeon board game. Let me see who it was. Who's the developer of this thing? Oh yeah, I think it was Mythic Games or something like that. But yeah, they're just gone. It was basically a Ponzi scheme, and they never got to release like all the deals expansions that they were working on. I think like they were wanting to add new classes, a new enemy, and new characters, but it's just dead. But the problem is that the board gaming industry is very much just like centered around crowdfunding, and I'm obviously a victim of this too sometimes, because, and I understand things happen. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, one example is I backed the expansion to Sentinels of the Multiverse in 2024. I think it was actually 2023. We were supposed to get it in 2024 summer. We're expected to get it in January of next year, of 2026. So we're just a little overdue. But I understand things happen. But at the same time, it does feel bad that, you know, that these things are just so, like, never guaranteed to happen, even if you put a lot of money into it, and hopes and dreams. Also, thank you, Oni Channel, for the follow. Welcome aboard, comrade. So, other product fulfillment company put it out in trade business chat. There's the hook they should. No, so Red Hook, yeah, so maybe Red Hook could do something else, but honestly, I don't think they want to do another board game, especially after the disaster that the Mythic Games ones was. The thing is, Mythic Games, what's what I'm thinking of, did a lot of other board games too. Like, it wasn't just Darkest Dungeon, right? Because the main issue was like a lot of the stuff that they produced had a lot of 3D miniatures, and 3D miniatures are not cheap. Like, they are expensive, right? And so that adds a lot to the cost of anything that they try to produce. And that's just the unfortunate reality. Like, these things, like, it's a risk obviously you take when you crowdfund a project, and it's not guaranteed to succeed. But boy, you would think that the money you put into the project would be used only for that project and not be used to pay for a previous project that they couldn't fund. It's just it's mind-blowing just how this happens. It truly is insanity, I think. And the other thing too, board games are just really expensive nowadays. I know the whole thing is like, oh, you know, you buy a video game for like $60, but at least you can refund it on Steam in if you play less than 2 hours. You cannot refund a board game if you open that thing. Like, good luck getting a refund for a opened board game. I think most stores are gonna be like, nope, not taking that back. Go complain to the, unless like there's an actual defect. Hold on, let me drink my water. Like, I legitimately don't think most stores would ever take a refund for board games, and you have to like resell it yourself, essentially, especially because it's no longer new, and obviously these board games are expensive, and would you really trust unless you're buying from a reputable seller? That's the type of thing. Like, I don't think I would ever buy a used version of Scythe. I would be like, no, I want a brand new spanking new copy of this, because I want to make sure it's all correct, right? Oh, what a shame. I hope we get some new good new board games in the near future. But unfortunately, a lot of the times board games nowadays just kind of follow the same formula. Like a lot of them are just, a lot of board games come out on the regular, like bespoke board games. Like here's your brand new Euro, like we made a brand new Euro game in the vein, like if we combined Catan with national parks. And it's just like, great, but what makes this interesting? Please tell me. And a lot of them are also just engine builders. I mean, logistics in general works that way. Warehouse work on 90 payment delivery from the big riggers. You get the warehouse is fun. Those happen to talk scary Russian. I mean, I know exactly what we're talking about like the whole like, you know, 230 net 90 type deal, and they have limited time to like move product around. But I don't know. I think board games got really screwed over by tariffs. Like the reality too, especially with the board gaming industry. Tariffs killed board games. Okay. Because the thing is, all board games are basically manufactured in China. Okay. Basically all board games nowadays are manufactured in China because the US does not have, and Europe does not have the, so I'm moving the chat window a little bit, does not have the production capacity and production knowledge to produce board game components on the scale and efficiency that China's able to. So that's why they're all produced over there. Have a good night, Krusty. Rest well, comrade. And so that's why board games have to be made in China and shipped on carrier ship over 3 months to get here, and then they can finally be distributed to the people who've been willing or, you know, patiently waiting for them. I'm not gonna lie though, if a board game has an anime picture on it, there's like a 50% chance I will just actually consider purchasing it. I am such a weeb that even if I know very little about the game, if it's got an anime aesthetic, like the value of that game internally to me goes up significantly. I don't know why. Something is wrong with me. Because I did that for like one game I backed one time called there's a game I backed called Long Live the Queen, which is an actual board game. And not the visual novel that's a princess raising game. And it was actually very interesting because when I had backed it, they actually had to make two versions. One, so it was originally a Japanese game, I believe. But when they ported it over to the US, they actually had to do an alternative version, which they called the diesel punk version, which is more for like a Western aesthetic. Let me see if I can find it here. I think I found it. So it was this board game. Let's see, let me move the window around a little bit. And like this is the two art styles. Like one is basically very much like an anime from like about the 2000s, I would say, like early 2010s aesthetic. And then they made like a Western version, which is like this diesel punk core look to it. And I just thought it was so funny that they had to make a separate version that would appeal to a Western audience. I backed this a long time ago. I ended up just getting the anime version, which, yeah, I mean, to be fair, they clearly made the correct decision, because the diesel punk version had more backers than the classic anime art version. And I thought that was just kind of funny to take note of. Like, you can even see like the different art style on the cards between the two variants. It's very low resolution, but you get the idea. Well, again, to be fair, you know, they have to appeal to a more broad audience, and apparently diesel punk is more, you know, enjoyable. Yeah, you know, you got to pick whichever one you wanted. You could even get both if you wanted both of them. But I, again, went for the weeb version. But the art was, like I said, the art kind of drew me in. You know what's really funny? I have not yet played this. This thing is just sitting on my shelf, completely sealed. It's been sealed for almost a decade, waiting for someone to play it. It's like, one day someone will open me and play me. One day. One day. Anyways, I think that's just kind of a small little segue. I know I tend to get really sidetracked on a lot of these topics on stream. Hopefully that doesn't bother people when I just get sidetracked on, like, I'm going to talk about board games for like the next 2 hours. I know, it's different. But hey, you know what? That's what you're here for. You're here to listen to me yap while you probably do something more important in the background for the next, or for the past like couple hours, right? You're not actually just listening to me. You're actually doing something productive in the background, or you're falling asleep, which is also an option. Take your pick. Also, I need to add another brazier. It's dark in this temple room. We need light. When they completely do something for a Western audience and they don't give you an option. Oh no, trust me, I hate it too. I hate that so much. Like when they... It's one thing to localize something. It's another thing to just completely rip out the original stuff. Actually, you know, here's the other thing that really is weird. So, you know that game that people are really into, Xenoblade? So I never played Xenoblade, okay? But for whatever reason, Nintendo loves changing the names of characters when they localize the game. So, for example, the main character, what's her name? Pyrrha or something? And Mithra? Their names are completely different because they actually have Japanese names in the Japanese version. Like, I think Pyrrha is called Homura and Mithra is called, I think Hikari, something like that. And I never really understood why they would do something like that. It just never really made sense. And I've complained extensively about Fire Emblem localization, so I'm not... Well, my ears are ringing. That's really weird. Oh, that is some severe tinnitus. What the heck is happening? Hold on. That was weird. Anyways, it just boggles me how they always do this all the time and they get away with it every single time. I don't know. Nintendo localization again has always just bothered me. We need a Unity Shrine. What is a Unity Shrine? Oh, this thing. Okay, so I need one of these things. Okay, so I'll just, I don't know, put one of these here. Make it out of, we'll make it out of wood, that's fine. Hydrate before I dihydrate. This, don't worry, I will hydrate. I drink lots of water. I will be a very hydrated individual. Oh my goodness. So, what was I talking about? All right, the localization of board games. But yeah, I always like looking at board games, but I don't back many board games anymore on things like Kickstarter just because I don't want to take the risk anymore, and also just because let's just say some of them are always like they love having complete editions that are like $200, and I'm not about to drop $200 on a board game that I'm not even sure I'm gonna like. That's the big problem. That's the big problem with a lot of these games. But if something good comes out that really appeals to me, I'm not going to discredit it. I might actually consider it. But the thing also in Kickstarter, and I hate this so much. Okay. Also, dehydrate your enemies via dehydration. Extract water elemental is an amazing spell. Is that an actual spell in D&D? The thing that I hate about browsing Kickstarter for board game projects is so many of them are just, hey, back our 3D model STL files. Once the backing is complete, we'll just give you the files that you can print yourself. I'm like, so you're just basically pre-selling 3D models so that you can print them instead of just selling them on their own store. They're using Kickstarter as a way to essentially drum up hype and sell it that way. Which I guess if it works for them, it works, but I just hate it when I'm like, I want to look for actual board games. I don't care if I'm looking for, if it's like another 5e spin-off, but I would like to see board games, not 3D models. Please, for the love of God. Like, I appreciate the amount of effort that they put into making their modular terrain system, whatever, but good lord, no, I want to see an actual board game. I want to see an actual board game. From 3 spell compendium, yes, it deals dehydration damage, just like Horde will but single target, because the target is on one size category spawn their victim from their extracted water. That sounds amazing. God, we don't get... D&D is so afraid of giving us horrifying spells like that. We never get evil, crazy things. We always just get, like, fireball, lightning bolt, electric arc, slashing gust. I guess you also get things like the necromancy ones where you suck out their life force, and disintegration is also fun, but where's the one where it's like, I can extract the air out of their lungs and then kill them like an airbender or something. I don't know. We need more evil spell options. Like truly gruesome things. You shrink the skin and nothing else. Wouldn't that just wouldn't that just compress them? Oh, I forgot about the Book of Vile Darkness. Wasn't there like the Book of Vile Darkness and the Book of Exalted Deeds? I forgot those had spells in them. Oh man, I will say, as much as people clown on, you know, as I will say, the one thing I miss about D&D 3.x is just the sheer amount of content that was available to you if you were willing to look for the right splat book. Oh, there was so much content. I'll say, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am a big fan of the Book of Nine Swords. I would, a campaign of just all Book of Nine Swords anime characters would actually be kind of banging, not gonna lie. That would actually be really fun. But I also understand that people don't like the Book of Nine Swords for very good reason, and so there's a reason why no one ever plays it. So yeah. Also, did I get all the crops out? Oh, we actually got another stack of potatoes. Let's grab those real fast. No, but it's not the same unless I'm playing 3.x. I never played 4e. Basically, my entire D&D camp life can be summarized as 3.x, Pathfinder, D&D 5e, PF2e, and that's basically it. I did dabble in other systems. Like I remember playing Deadlands, and I missed Deadlands. Deadlands is a really fun system, and Savage Worlds in general is really cool. I played I still remember I ran a Hidan no Aria campaign. So I don't know if anyone ever watched Hidan no Aria, but it's one of my favorite it's one of my favorite anime series. It's so stupid. The general concept, but I ran it was essentially schoolgirls and schoolboys with guns, and it was a great fun time. Oh, what a great series. Too bad that they never made any more anime, but they also just kept making more books. And the books keep getting more and more ridiculous because the whole concept is that every major character is a descendant of a major historical figure. Like, one of the girls is a descendant of Genghis Khan. This one's a descendant of, I think, Amaterasu or something like that. This one's the main girl's a descendant of Sherlock Holmes. Things like that. I'm playing Pokemon while everyone's playing MTG. I mean, like I said, I would like to do other systems, but I just don't have time. You've heard of the amount of convenience spells like some level control water, remove all HP out of a remove all H2 out of a living organism. By far the most. To be fair, when I played 3.x and my first character was essentially a Book of Nine Swords character, our DM was really new and just kind of let us do whatever we wanted. Like, she was very new to like DMing anything, and so I was looking through stuff and I saw like the Book of Nine Swords, and I showed it and I was like, can I use this? And she's like, okay, sure. And I was like, awesome. And then you want to have I ever talked about my very first D&D character? My very first D&D character was a twin-tailed tsundere, whatever the Guardian Knight version class in Book of Nine Swords, that ran around with a tower shield, a whip, and chakrams, and it was what was damage, but all the damage basically came from the Book of Nine Swords abilities rather than the weapon damage. It was really powerful, a little busted actually. It was good stuff. I miss it. Did I expand this? Oh, we can make alcohol now, so as long as we have potatoes, which we have large quantities of, we can start to brew booze. So I will start to produce alcohol. We can make vodka, or we can make vodka. Yeah, our options are basically just vodka or vodka. Until we have like 110 sitting around, that's probably fine. All right. And then I guess we'll just drop this. There we go. 4E's mechanics in 3. Yeah, it really was. 4E was running the more war game as combat mechanics that had well abilities rather than white weapons. It was not only that too, but like they also tried to do things like the whole, oh, minions have 1 HP, so you can just kind of get through combat quicker by you smacking them. But I remember seeing a video by Puffin Forest, and he kept complaining that like, oh, you think it's supposed to make it easier, but it really makes it a lot more complicated just because you had to track so many different buffs and abilities because it was very MMO in design, because that's what the inspiration was for a lot of the mechanics. MMOs. It's all about them MMOs, baby. All about that World of Warcraft. Oh, that's what the kids are into, right? Let's make D&D like World of Warcraft. I think that's, or like the MMOs. Okay, finally, our temple, our grand altar is completed. We don't have a divine pope. I just realized we don't have a colony leader. We also need to kind of light this room up at some point. D&D ruined everything else. I think it depends what you're like looking for. Like from what I heard, people who, if you enjoyed 4E, you really liked 4E. But I think 4E came at a time where I think the world wasn't ready for 4E. 4E was such a detraction from the traditional D&D design, especially when it came to combat, that people just did not like it upon release. I think nowadays people kind of look back on it and be like, you know what, maybe it wasn't actually that bad. But back in the day, it was very much like a, we don't want to play this type of thing. And I get it. That's just how it is. People may like it and people may not like it. For other things, though, like 5E kind of tried to blend it together where it's a lot more freeformy. I just 5E's more freeformy because they wanted to get away from the number crunching of 3.x. And I've said it before, I don't like 5E anymore because I enjoyed 5E when I played it. But if you had to ask me, I would never play 5E again. Because 5E is just so mechanically boring that I don't derive much enjoyment out of it as someone who enjoys building characters. Because the biggest issue is, the way I always like to point it out is that it's how many decision points do you have as a player as your character evolves over the campaign. And unfortunately, 5E has basically none. Unless you're playing certain classes, then in which case you have a little bit more flexibility in how you choose to build your character. But as far as I can tell, in 5E, your major character decision points were at 1, 3, and then every 4th level. And the reason for this is basically, at level 1, you develop your character's core, right? So your race, your starting class, and your initial equipment, and your initial stats. At 3, you choose your archetype, and then at 4 and every 4th or 5th level, you get your stat increase. And then you make it, maybe you can use that stat increase for a feat, but that's it. And that's why, like, it's very good if you enjoy freeform gameplay, theater of the mind and all that, but that's not what I look for when I play tabletop RPGs. I like a little bit more meat on my bones for tabletop, so I really prefer things where I can do a lot of customization. So things like Savage Worlds, it appeals to me. One system I've never played that kind of interests me a little bit is GURPS, and I heard they're actually making a 2nd edition of GURPS, which I was like, oh my gosh, this system's like 25 years old, and they're finally making a 2nd version. 4E was your intro to D&D and was Kid Got into interested in fantasy D&D journey. Hey, that's actually really cool. At least you, like, look, it's a gateway, right? And I think if you enjoyed it and it got you into a gateway for reading, that's awesome. Let's see. When you started, your friends tried 3E, then you shifted over to Pathfinder. I think most people typically do the same thing where they go from 3.x to Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is basically 3.75, right? Who's your 4E your main 4E character? She was hilarious. Was this the one with like the really long names, or was that your Savage Worlds campaign? I know you had like a character that had like a really long name and became like some kind of conquistador-ish type individual, I think. I think that was Savage Worlds. I remember you mentioning her before at some point. Why is our characters always sad? Please eat food, Steve. I cannot have you be in pain. Oh, he has a brain injury from... Oh, why is it always the permanent brain injuries? Oh, because he doesn't have a helmet. We should have probably gotten him a helmet, shouldn't we? Probably could have protected him from his brain injury. On the other hand, he can still cook, so I guess that's fine. Small blessings. Are we just not gonna make vodka? Oh shoot, I gotta make them all the same. Okay, so hold on, you get over here. You're not assigned to... Who else is assigned to brewing? Let's get Garm over here. Let's let Garm get the booze going. I'll mix up two different characters. Okay, got it. It's Isabella Classine, Comtesse de Michel, the not French Sky Captain. I'm trying to remember. I think my longest D&D character name was something like Riker von Volkswagen, der Klein, something. And there's like a whole bunch of titles attached to him that were all in English because I didn't want to translate any of them to German. A changeling bard chameleon. Ah, okay. Got it. Oh my god, look at that. The vodka is being produced. The vodka is too hot. We need to cool it down. Which means we need to build a passive cooler. Okay, so we need a Zeo Poser's a builder? Yes. Build me my booze cooling device. And then fuel it. Someone please fuel this thing. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so that should at least cool the vodka down so it doesn't get destroyed. Okay. She used to work for BEG, quietly ran away when she found out the reward. Was eternal searches and on Dominion, paranoid, basically let everyone she's doing. Oh, she's changed. Like, okay. Oh, geez, these guys are tough. Okay, will we survive this? Oh, Rare Pickle doesn't have any good armor. Heavy fur armor, I guess is fine. All right, time to put on that bird skin leather helmet. At least gets you a little bit of burn protection. And then maybe we should get Sky Peon a helmet as well. I guess that padded one is fine. See a little bit of protection, and then hopefully that'll be good for everyone else. Ray also doesn't have a helmet, which is also concerning. They're not attacking yet. Have to deal with this soon enough. At least Red Pickle looks like a menacing threat. Let's see. The party thought she was a half-elf. They didn't know she was a human owner. Tavern they hung out at, as well as other NPCs. So basically, if she's a changeling, it's like Roger from American Dad is what I'm getting at, but more serious and not comedy. I'm pretty sure we can... Oh, actually, I have an idea. Let's get one... We should take the fight to them before they engage on us. Let's go over here. You could copy literally any creature and any person to gain their actual racial ability. That's kind of sick, actually, but that's also seems like the type of thing you can only pull off in 3.5 and nothing else, or 3.x and nothing else. Okay, we're gonna see if we can just assassinate them a little bit. Oh, all right, let's get Sun inside. Oh boy, he got stabbed. All right, there we go. Intercept them as they walk in. Start clobbering them. Let the bodies hit the floor and all that jazz. Oh, it was 4E. Ooh. Alright. Oh, here we go. Let's have Sun capture this one. Oh, he's on waiver. Yeah, it's fine. Capture him. It's fine. We'll figure out somewhere for him to be. He had a Hussar. Look at this one. Alright. And then I think the other batch is coming to attack us. And then after this fight, that'll probably be the end of it because I do need to end soonish. Let's see who's alive at this hour while the fight goes on in the background. Oh, wait. That's really funny that you can copy their abilities. Okay, so... Who do I want to raid today? Sure, we'll raid. We'll raid... Rachel Maelstrom. Alright. That's probably... Did we win? I wasn't paying attention. I think we won. Cool. All right. We'll also capture this one. This one we can maybe convert. Okay. Anyways, comrades, hopefully you had fun with the Rimworld. As you know, it's late. I have to get ready to go to bed and do other things like do things that are relevant to me getting ready to sleep. Anyways, have fun, comrade. Say hello to Comrade Rachel, who I believe is doing some kind of like weird mixed xenotype run. Maybe that's fun to watch. Enjoy your evening, comrades. I'll be back tomorrow with either Rimworld or Hoi 4. Or either Minecraft or Hoi 4. But I don't know if I'm going to do the vertical streaming tomorrow, just because I know it's very intense on my computer. At least Rimworld is so GPU non-intensive that I could do it, but maybe not. We'll see. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining me today on Cool Games. And I hope you enjoyed me yapping for 4 hours and that didn't drive anyone crazy at all. Okay. Bye.